Wow. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry. It's this game's fault that everything looks a little off every time we play it, but that's fine. Hello, everyone. Oh my god. Right, I forgot. I forgot that we're super laggy for this game for some reason. Also, welcome in. Thank you for the follow and thank you for the pack. Oh god, everything is laggy. I forgot that for some reason this game makes me extremely laggy. That is okay. Thank you for the pet and thank you for the raids. It is not evening yet, so I can't say good evening. But welcome in anyway. I wish I knew why this game made everything so laggy. I could have looked it up, right? It could have been a good thing, right? But no. Why would I do that? Why would I be? Why would I have done that before starting stream? That would have been a good idea, right? Anyway. Second, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do what is called a pro gamer move. That also apparently makes it so it's not laggy anymore. So perfect. Boom. That's how you fix that. Cinematic new experience. This is a mess. The overlay special, yes. But hey, look at that, we're not laggy anymore, and all it took was me closing out of the, like, having the game not be in full screen. Amazing. I love this computer. Or maybe in this case it's actually the game's fault, and not mine. I'm assuming it wasn't really made for the whole full screen experience, not gonna lie, but hey, this is good. This means I can stop having to exaggerate my features in hopes of it showing up with the lag going on. Because you know what happens when it's super laggy, it does not realize when I'm blinking most of the time because it's a very fast movement and it doesn't go through. It just looks like I'm staring straight at the screen for like 2 hours. But here we are. We're finally back with Magical Eyes. It's been an entire week because of the dump Twitch being weird on Wednesday. So hey, here we are. That's nice. We're back. We finished the entirety of like the prologue and chapter 0 last time, so we're not that far into the game, not gonna lie. But I'm hoping to get through, I don't know, maybe the chapter 1. I do not know how long the chapters in this game actually are. I can't really tell yet, but we'll see. It probably does block something and makes it all weird. I mean, there's also probably because it does not show up if I try to capture it as a game capture, so it's capturing the entire display, and because VChip Studio is running in the background of the same display, maybe that's also an issue, but hey, here we are. If I remember correctly, this game also, yeah, 25th of September, that is a while ago. I think this game had controller support, so I can relax, and I just need to press buttons on the controller and be happy. Tsukumagami. Wrong button. Also wrong button. I know you had controller support. What button is it that I have to press? Please, game. This one! Okay, here we go. It is thought that objects and tools that are used for a long time eventually develop a soul. Is it something done by the objects themselves? Or are they being infused with the user's emotions over a long time and being tormented by them? If the Tsukumogami are created by the latter, they must be imperfect beings. Because the emotions contained in them and the very existence of human beings, the source of those emotions, they both are woefully imperfect. Pressing buttons until you hit the skip button. No! Jesus! I don't want to hit the skip button. Why do we get another? What? Okay, I was about to ask, do we get another intro sequence thingy? This is chapter 1. I mean, to be fair, it does not actually have controller support. This is just me using an overlay created in Steam that makes it so the PS5 controller works like a mouse. So I can do this here with the touchpad and press a button on the controller that acts like the left click and stuff. So the UI looks funny. To be fair, this game is from 2014. Actually, the original release was 2014. It has been a while, so... But the entire text box is usually what you would see like when they like some kind of, oh, we're changing scenes and a thingy. You did the same for one visual novel. I think I set this up when I tried to read, what was it? Ciconia. Because I was reading Ciconia while I was lying in bed most of the time because it was nice to have it on a big screen. And I do not have a mouse without, either a mouse, you know, without a cable or one with a cable long enough to actually be lying in bed. So I used the controller. Today's the only normal weekday set right in the middle of the long holiday season. Still, it's not that depressing considering that the main part of the holiday starts tomorrow. Jun and Shizuku seem to be motivated by that fact too. They're enjoying the preparation for school, something they usually don't. I'm going to be working a bunch. Duh. No work at the moment. I don't think I'll have the whole week off though. Well, they are still mad about us breaking the promise to go see a movie. You really know how to hit me where it hurts, huh? Wait a second, you're guilting me too, Shizuku? Such an old style love. Who the fuck in modern media, who the fuck still laughs like So what are your plans? Can I come? I want to go to a bookstore. I say, having been to the bookstore yesterday. One Piece, yeah. I mean, but One Piece has been going for years, so it is fair that a thing that started back then in the 90s has someone laughing like that. You two are trying to make the most out of the holiday, huh? Nah, I think I just sit around at home. He just like me, for real. When a disobey is in charge of a specific area, want to leave it for a long period of time, they have to apply for permission. There's no way I want to go badly enough to bother with that, so I keep to the area near my home. Watching DVDs or reading. It's a week where every single person is out and about because everyone has a time off. Why would you bother to go out during that time where there's especially many people about? Personally, what I like to do is take time off during like the off season when no one, like where there's no school, holidays. So I can go and do the stuff when no one is anywhere. That's the good thing. Golden. I don't care if it's golden. What did you pause for? You just switched the word order. What? Why are you calling me bro? That, you're like what? You're like 12. Don't be mean. You're doing it wrong. I don't need you to show that kind of grown-up consideration for me. Don't be fucking rude. You know what? I've actually got someone who asked about my plans for the holiday.
お兄ちゃんは時間が空いたらその人と遊びに行くの？
I'm not going to. I don't want to feel sorry if I suddenly have to call it off.
俺たちとはそんなの気にしないで約
That's
束
because
す
I
る
see
じ
you
ゃん。
every day and we're kind of like family. That's a little different. That's because you two are family and know what I do. Not to mention that June is already one of us, and Shizuku will be too soon enough. Oh, oh. Okay, just casually drop that information. Okay. It's hard for me to stay with someone for long, as you know.
そっか。兄ちゃんはいろいろ難しいもんな。
I don't know.
まあ、
What kind of
仕
stuff?
事が入らなくて暇だったら俺たちが遊んであげるからさ。
遊んであげるね。
Thanks for the offer.
あ、俺たちそろそろ学校に行かなくちゃ。行こうぜ、しずく。
お兄ちゃん、行ってきます。
Well, as I told you last night, the city is kind of rough these days. Make sure to be careful.
はーい。
They're not listening. Even if I can't hang out with her, the two of us alone. Judging from past experience with her, Ogawa will probably bring me the DVD today. I'm looking forward to the DVD, but what's even better is that I'll get to talk to her again. Right now, I'm feeling one of those unexplainable emotions. It's so unnatural of me to be thinking that every emotion can be reasoned, being a disobeyer myself. But since I think of her that way, I have to remember there's a line that I can't let myself cross. I take a look at my watch and realize I need to get going too. Let's put on my uniform and... Always the same. As soon as I recognize the caller's name, I give up on attending school today. His timing is terrible as always, but at least it's not as bad as his cooking. Hey, he can only have one thing he's really bad at, okay? Wait, but I could go to the school, right? This means main story. This means side story. So side story first. Oh, that's why my phone is blowing up with notifications. I see. Thank you. A 92-year-old public high school that all the locals know about. Its motto is improve yourselves both in academic and sports, and is well known in the entire prefecture for its high-quality education and dominance in sports contests. I don't technically want to enter the school, but I'm assuming it's going to be a side... Oh my god. Side story with her, because she is going to school like normal. A languid atmosphere is hanging around the pre-class classroom as if rejecting the beginning of the day. Due to it being the middle of the holidays, more seats are empty than usual. It must be contributing to this laid-back air. Contrary to that laziness, I'm enveloped in an out-of-place, uplifting feeling. I was forced to wake up at 5 this morning by my day-old hopes and fears. I unconsciously finished up my daily jog and, during breakfast, found myself writing Amakawa you on my toast with jam. What is wrong with this girl? I know there's a chance that his answer the day before yesterday was just something he said on a whim, but who could blame me for being somewhat excited? He hardly ever says anything on a whim. There's a gigantic gap between 0 and 1. Now that if there's one precedent, he might do the same again someday. He could say something really nice on a whim, or he could accept my outing off on a whim. Just imagining those situations makes me... 30 minutes have passed since I started waiting for the man in question. Some of my classmates came and greeted me, but I don't remember which ones they were or what I said to them, just that I only replied mechanically. The phone you used to track is the one you gave notice on? No, I have 2 phones actually. I use my old phone for tracking. For one, because the battery is already fucking done and over with. So it doesn't really matter anymore that I have to keep it connected to, you know, because tracking obviously takes a bunch. So it's a good thing that I don't have anything else on there. They are both iPhones because I sadly have to admit that iPhone tracking is better than Android tracking. But yeah. The one I use for tracking is an older... what is it? Now, if I only remembered what it was, I could tell you. Because my main phone is the 12 mini. And the 12 mini has very bad, like, battery life. So if I had to use that one for tracking, I think I could have already thrown the phone away because it would just be done and over with. iPhones and the batteries are very, very not good, sadly. But I've been using iPhones for many, many years. I do not want to make the switch again because it would be such a pain to get everything over and set up on something different again. Howdy room! Good evening! It's not evening! God fucking damn it! It's so ingrained in me that I usually stream in the evenings. Oh, thank you for the hydrate time! Missing today means 6 more days to wait. Between breaks, lunch, and after school, I've only got about 2 hours total. There's no time to waste on anyone but him. This lady is obsessed. Jesus Christ. Plus, I've got a whole lot of things I want to talk to him about today. It's evening somewhere. That is very true. It's always evening somewhere in the world. The DVD waiting for the time to come out of my bag, the movie theater that I saw in town, and the unusual little boy and girl that I bumped into. If I managed to make the chat flow smoothly, I could ask him out to a movie. In past years, I was never able to see him during Golden Week, meaning those weeks were less than golden, but that response he gave me gives me hope for this year. That alone is enough to get me through the rest of the holidays. But there's still opportunities for more to happen. I'm so happy I want to scream. Actually, I yelled a little into my pillow last night. Generally speaking, my feelings for him have been going too far, even though I'm aware of that. At least she's aware. It's not making it any better, but she's aware. You stayed up until 2 AM to beat Yakuza 4, nice! Yeah, we were up until 3 and finished 3. And then I slept until 1 PM. And wasted like half my day. Even though I planned on cleaning up my room and everything, but I guess I'll do that after stream today. That's why I started stream a little early. So I, could be like, okay, the stream is done, now I can spend the rest of the day cleaning up and stuff. Thank you for the pet. That's why I'm very careful not to go overboard when I'm with him. In front of him, my words and actions can't be too heavy or too atypical. Basically, the most important thing is for me to act naturally. With that said, it will probably be difficult to restrain myself today. I was about to say, she is voiced. Note to self, remind Nui to clean the room. Ha! Yeah, I have to. Oh, there's some. On Tuesday, there's a guy coming over to check on the heaters and everything. And I don't really want a stranger standing in here and judging me for the state of my room. Especially because I have to ask one of my neighbors to take care of it because I have to be at work. So I want to get that done today. He usually arrives right about now. I've got to compose myself before he shows up. Make one wrong move and the usual me will be destroyed. He's not going to show up. He has to work. He has to work. Would be really funny if you didn't clean up. No, there. I don't think it would be very funny. I also have to clean up because I'm getting a new shelf next weekend. Or like sometime during the weekend and I can put it up on the weekend. And I'd rather have it cleaned up and then, only have to bother building the shelf than having to clean up while building the shelf. That would be weird. Actually not checking the heater, they're probably replacing the valve. Really? Could be. I have no fucking clue. There's just a giant paper downstairs that says, hey, please be home at that and that time. If you're not there, we are going to fine you like 60 euros. I'm like, what? People have to work, maybe? What the hell? So, like, 2 of my neighbors are going to be home and they're just going to take care of all of our apartments to let the guy in to check it. Yeah, it's not fair. It really isn't. It sucks. 2 shelves for your stove. We need to build them. Nice! I actually love building shelves. I'm a big IKEA fan. I have so much IKEA. Actually, every single shelf in my apartment is IKEA. It's going to be another one, another Kallax IKEA shelf. I'm so pumped to build it. It's something I got to do for new gas distribution system. Oh, I see. Will take like 20 minutes. Yeah, that's the problem. You have to be home for like specific amount of time. Like they're going to come sometime between 9 and 12 in the morning. And then it's only going to take them like, what, 20 minutes, half an hour at most. But what if there's something wrong? That's and I cannot take the time off of work because there's no one at work otherwise. I'm like, I have two heaters. One room apartment, yeah. Same here though. Pops, allow me to say something, would you? Your food sucks.
Nanda.
I feel so sorry for the shrimp you're cooking. My heart bleeds for them. He bought loads of shrimp to make some kind of seasoning from their shells, and now he's grinding some of them in a mortar. In other restaurants, just the sound of the grinding would lead you to expect good food. In this ramen shop, it's just an undesired noise. I'm not praising you. I've been wondering about this for a long time, but do you even know the basics of cooking? Junior. Do you know the 5 essential tips for Japanese cooking, known as Sashi Suseso? I do not know the 5 essential tips for Japanese cooking. What are they? The basics of Japanese dishes is a wordplay to describe how 5 kinds of seasoning are used to flavor Japanese dishes. Sa is for sato or sugar, shi is for shio or salt, su is for su or vinegar, se is for shoju or soy sauce, and so is for miso or bean paste. Using these in ascending order is considered to be the best way to season Japanese dishes. I see. I did not know that. I would love it if more people in general would play more VNs. More VNs all the time. Funnily enough, I don't know that many German VTubers. Or like, I do know a few that technically speak German, but none of us do stream in German. It's like, yeah, hi, I do speak German, but I only stream in English.
まったくグジュニアは俺をバカにしすぎだぜ。もはや冒涜と言ってもいい。まずサワ That's not
even Japanese. Wait, you use sour cream when you cook? Now I get why it all tastes so sour, but sour cream can be good.
おいじゃあなんだってんだよ。サバの味噌煮
That's already a completed meal. Sa is for sato, sugar.
マジでか。まあ知ってたけどな。逆に
50 threats? Damn. Yeah, I have to check up on like what's happening over at Fuvanovo. You look pretty darn surprised. Anyway, I'm not here to teach you how to cook. Can we move on to the reason you called me in on a school day? Most on-stream German-speaking people I know were normal streamers before. Yeah, the funny thing for me is always like, I create English content. I stream in English. And now, like, all of my Austrian acquaintances, like Skip knew a bunch of people in Skip's new circle. Like, sure, they also all speak German, but we all do stuff in English online. But for some reason, like, you always find other Germans online. You're like, when I first started talking to Skip, we always talked in English until I was like, wait, we both speak German. Why don't we just speak German to each other? They want the games in German before they care. Ah, that's unfortunate. I haven't cared about games being in German in a long time. Like, as long as it's in a language that I speak, I'm fine. So as long as it's English, I'm fine. Doesn't have to necessarily be German.
まずはこのエビを使った新作天国つけ麺を食べてきな。
Why? Because it makes me go to heaven? Because it's going to kill me? Please don't, I'm begging you. I'll do anything for you. Kneel down on the ground, pay whatever you want, give you everything I own. So please do not serve me that thing. Hear more about English and German, also prefer English subtitles and anime. I just need it to be in a language I understand. Pops disgruntledly quits grinding and takes a picture out of his pocket. Yeah, you know what happened last time we finished the game? This one dude got his head, like, sliced off, bitten off. I'm not really sure. He definitely lost his head, though, at the end. So I'm going to assume that is what chapter 1 is going to be about. Like, oh, something is going around killing people again. It is a dark shot, seemingly taken somewhere with little lighting. Based on its texture, I noticed that it was printed out from digital data, and what it shows is... Oh, no, never mind. Is that a doll? The very specific Japanese doll with the black hair. Right? Oh, damn it, I wanted to click on it. Maybe it was just an accident. Oh, yeah. For sure. The black hair that appears to absorb all light around it and had long and narrow eyes. Even my untrained eye can see the doll as a masterpiece of the highest order. Whenever you lose something, it's by accident. There's a saying we have in... Or like, you know when you forget something, there's a saying we have here where you tell the other person like, oh, well, at least your head is like glued on. Not glued on. Your head is obviously not glued to your body, but like it's connected to your body. You can't lose your head. Like no matter what you forget, you cannot lose your head because it's connected to your body. So it's always like, oh no, I forgot something. Oh, well, good thing your head's still on there. Ha ha ha. Doesn't apply in that situation. No, this guy definitely lost his head. For good. It's never a good sign when you start off a briefing like that.
まあその予感が当たりかどうかはすぐにわかるさ。事の始まりは1週間前のことだ。中央区の総合病院に一人男は失血により意識を失っていたんだ。
If I would really absorb all light, it would probably start to burn.
何せ男の左腕の肘から先が見事に切り落とされていたんだからな。
His left arm?
ああ。病院への搬送が相当早かったことと処置が良かったことで男は一命を取り留めた。
I'm not sure they would do it just for streamer friendliness. Like if we go by, hey, if you want to put the game on Steam, there's a lot of people who probably have to work on the games and make them all ages friendly and then making some patches, but I don't think they're going to do it just for like a streamer friendliness, seeing as most VNs are actually more on the please do not play the entirety of our game on stream, because that way people will know all of the plot and not buy it themselves or something anymore. Streamer toggles are becoming more and more of a thing in other bigger games though. I think it would be cool, but I don't think in VNs, out of all things, they're going to make it more likely for that to show up. I don't think so. Only manga? No. There's a few more companies out there that have a streaming policy, which is what I got to find out last game we tried to play, which is still sad. I still haven't finished Chronicles of Refugia for myself to at least know what the fuck the game is actually about, but hey. I am also still salty about that. If I'd known about it before, I wouldn't have started the game on stream. But it is what it is. He could have easily died of shock.
なかなかに生命力がたくましい人物だったらしい。男の名はニカワ。上宮区にて雑貨屋を経営している36歳の男性だ。
Towards part of the district in my charge. Was a good choice, looked amazing. Yeah. I mean, I bought it for the art. I bought it for the art. Also, the game only costs 10 euros normally. And when it came out, it was on sale. It had a 10% sale going on, so it really didn't cost me much either. But...
Oh no! We haven't had a cursed uvu in such a long time. Never heard of them? I never heard of them before either. I was just extremely fucking mad because game was out for a month. I started playing it and like the one day after my last stream, they go on Twitter and are like, hey, do not play our game further than this on stream. I'm like, wow, we already passed that point last time I streamed it. Maybe post your streaming guidelines when your game comes out and not a month after the fact. And maybe post about it on the places where you actually can buy the game and not only on Twitter of all places. You have to delete the VOD. No, I think we're good. We're good because it's only a little further. It's like only a few text boxes further, so we should be fine. But I had to stop playing the game on stream, and that's what's making me mad, because I do like to finish my games on Steam. I mostly only play games that have a set end, that have a story that you can complete on stream. I'm not someone for endless games, so starting a game and being unable to finish it for, you know, reasons. It would be a different reason if it's like, oh, I don't know, fucking game died and I can't play it. I can play it because my computer can handle it or something. That's something else. That's something that I can be responsible for. Like, okay, upgrading my PC, blah blah blah. But yeah, other people might have finished the game on stream in that time. That's exactly what I mean. It's like, okay, so they already played it and now they have to take it all down? What? I don't know. I mean, they did not tell me directly, but I do not want to get in trouble with them. I saw the announcement, so I said, okay, well, we're not doing that. Don't want to risk anything there. If you ever play Planetarian and watch the whole VOD, Planetarian HD recently got the additional English and Japanese settings. Oh, that's what I was wondering about, because I have the old Planetarian that has an English translation, and the Planetarian HD only had like the German translation for a long time on Steam, and I was like, I already played it, I already know the story, I don't want to buy it again. But if it got the additional English and Japanese settings now, maybe I'll get it, the HD version. Hi Dad, hi Ichi. How you doing? Also, I'm so sorry to the dude who got his hand bitten off here. It's like, yeah, horrible. Good thing he didn't die. He didn't see the culprit?
Yeah.
You good? How about you, gamer? I slept through most of my fucking day. Other than that, I am good. Oh, okay. I didn't look into it that much. I was just always wondering why the English translation was not available on the HD version. Like, there is one out there. Why wouldn't it be? On a newer version. Good to know. Sunday mood, yeah. The only reason I don't feel as bad about it is because I was about to say global holiday. It's a national holiday tomorrow, so I have tomorrow off of work as well. So I don't feel as bad for wasting most of my Sunday. Yeah, I mean, passing out from that kind of blood loss? Pretty hard to say if that was lucky or not for him. I think it would be pretty unfortunate to stay conscious with such a severe injury. He was forced to experience and see how his left arm got separated. But then again, if he'd passed out sooner, he probably wouldn't have survived. Extra day of let's go! Exactly!
多少会話ができるまで持ち直した店主が語った内 警察は困惑することになる。
How come?
期待していた方向とは随分かけ離れたものだったからだ。
Was whoever was attacking him weird?
自分の腕をぶった切った相手は
A little girl wearing a
和服を着た
kimono
少女
cut
の
off
よう
his
な
arm?
見た目だった。
Oh, did the doll cut off his
それは
arm?
証明したんだよ。
A little girl wearing a kimono. Shockingly enough, that's what the doll in the picture is wearing. The person seems to have an outrageous fashion sense.
Hi, Nua. Hi, Artie.
Hilfe, there's no help here. There's no help to be had here.
ジュニアよ。その言い方は正確じゃねえな。
But a kimono in and of itself is not outrageous fashion sense. Cutting off someone's arm, I would say, is outrageous, but the fashion sense is not that outrageous. What word?
被害者の話を信じる。
Oh.
襲ったのは
Oh, did he say it was the
犯人
doll?
じゃねえのさ。自分を襲ったのは店の商品。
Speak for yourself.
人形だって言うんだよ。
Another Discord server might reach the limit soon. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I do have a Discord server. Where you already got a Discord friend limit. There's a Discord friend limit. Holy shit, I did not know there was a limit. You mean the one in the photo?
正解だ。
Hmm.
ちなみにこの写真は今年の1月頃に三河自身が携帯で撮影したものだとさ。
So Artie, how you doing? Are you sure? This doll got to her feet, walked around and chopped off his arm?
被害者本人はそう話している。
I mean, we've seen weirder stuff. Maybe the doll got possessed by some of the emotion people thingies. I forgot their name.
人形が自分の腕を切り落として
You're now part of the Red
それを持って逃げたんだとさ。
1000 Friends Club. What the hell?
警察としては店主が恐怖のあまり記憶に混乱を起こしてい
Yeah, I
る
don't think I'm going to reach that many friends anytime soon. That's a completely normal response. It's a no-brainer. Should the authorities swallow everything he says about the case, the public will consider them crazy. So, their perspective aside, what do we think of that? The police are sensible and reasonable about the event, but that doesn't mean they have the truth. Do we like the police in this game? I'm not so sure. Like, we're someone who's working against entities that are not human anymore, but do we trust the police? I don't think so. Because some people start to complain about how slow the program is at some point. Yeah, that's true. Making multiple accounts to get new achievement.
まるで発言を裏付けるかのように店主が襲われた時を境に店の倉庫からは一体
My money is on something possessing the doll, I think. And that picture was of our missing doll?
ああ他の店員が複数証言していることから
Many of the other staff members
そ
say
の
the
点に間
same.
違いはない。人形は事件が起こった当日の夕方まで店の倉庫に存在していたことも裏が取れた。
That's weird. Ordinarily, you'd think someone injured the shop owner and stole the doll.
普通に考えれば
Yeah, that is true. So, that's not what you think happened, Pops?
今のところ白とも黒とも言えねえって感じだぜ。真っ先に問題になったのが一番肝心なものが現場で見つからなかったことだ。
Important as in?
腕だ。バックヤードだけじゃなく店内のどこを探しても
Yeah, I mean, he did say
誰
the
か
doll
の手が
took it
見つ
with
からな
him.
かったんだよ。
I trust that guy. He got his arm chopped off. Someone, probably the culprit, took it with them somewhere else.
警察も同様に考えている。周辺の捜索を開始したところ
Hey, what the fuck?
ほどなくして雑貨屋から6キロほど離れた公園
6
に
kilometers away from the shop.
警察に一報が入った。
What did they say?
人の腕
Ooh.
が園内に落ちているって内容だ。通報者は近隣に住む若い
Very
カップル。
meticulously cared for nails. I'm sorry, it's always a thing I look out for in VNs, if the nails are actually drawn on like the hands, if they're making it a point to draw them in and what they look like. Because a lot of times, people just don't have nails. And it fucks me up when I notice that they do not have nails on their hands. I'm like, how does this artist draw the nails? I feel so sorry for the couple, assuming that they're not the criminals. It's extremely discomforting to suddenly experience something so extraordinary in a commonplace scenery. I can't imagine how shocked they'd be to discover a human arm. No, dismembered hand! Yay! That's not important at all. Yeah, I wouldn't wish it on anyone to find a dismembered arm. They were disarmed. And of course, the arm they found. Bloody arm without any blood on the ground. Well, to be fair, I do not know for how long, but like, it was already cut off. It was already cut off from the person, so there's no blood flow there anymore. There's only a limited amount of blood in the arm, in the blood vessels. So, God knows what they did with the arm until they dropped it there. Maybe there was no blood left in it anymore. It was cut off somewhere else. We know it was cut off somewhere else. It was cut off in the shop, but like, I do not know enough about blood to tell you if it is realistic. Such an armament of the arm jokes, my god! I'm going. I'm leaving. You guys... I'm leaving. In other words, the chopper bothered to take the arm out of the shop and went all the way down to the park to abandon it there. I'm ready. I'm going to scream. Yeah. Apparently my golden week has come to an end much faster than I thought it would. On Monday! No, it's Friday. Never mind. On Monday! It says Friday up there. I'm just stupid. Ooh. One of the branches of the family restaurant chain Big Peach. The branches can be found everywhere in the country. They serve every kind of food from Japanese and Western to Chinese. They currently offer special limited dishes made with spring vegetables. You're still thinking about Black Monday? Yeah! Yeah! Exactly. Susanari Din's first impression of this man named Sojima is that he talks in a rather emotionless way. Night in the Woods, he poked it on with a stick then. You're right! I actually saw some fan art of Night in the Woods earlier today. That was so cute. I miss it. I'm so glad it was one of my first games we played on stream, but I really miss it. It was such a nice game. It was such a nice game. I would play it again, I think. I think I would actually play it again. But every time I feel like playing it again, I just listen to a song cover of Die Anywhere Else. And then the feeling subsides. I'm like, well, rested again. It's like, yes, okay, that was the Night in the Woods feeling. We're done now. I have 500 other games I need to play there. The moment Cincinnati entered the coffee shop for the meeting, oh, I have my mouse in the middle of the screen. I'm so sorry. He noticed an exceptional aura surrounding the man now that the two of them are actually talking. The peculiarity is even more distinct. The man looks a lot like a doll, or rather like a machine. Cincinnati thinks there must be something human missing from this man sitting on the sofa across from him. Without going against that impression, Sojima keeps speaking laconically. Here's a summary of what he has said so far. My god. Everything started 3 months ago when one of Sojima's supervisors went missing. His boss was a somewhat forceful man, but adaptable and social enough that none of his co-workers or family could think of a reason for his sudden disappearance, which was why they informed the police in less than 2 days. Although Sojima wondered about the reason too, he didn't try to probe any further. The struggle of reading walls of text. It's okay. It's okay. I've done worse.
まるで誰かに見られているようだって話を周囲にしていたんです。
I just wish there was an option to turn up the voice acting. I can barely hear the voices sometimes, but the game does not have an option for that. You keep going like a 3-study was surely a game catalog, if you will. I'm going to beat you to a pulp room.
その言葉を裏付けるようにしきりに背後を気にしたり人の視線を気にしたりしていました。
その見られているというのは尾行とか監視とかそういった類の？
ええ、監視です。本人はその言葉を使っていました。
It's like the BGM is nice, but I would also like to hear what they have to say.
もちろんそれだけで上司の行方不明が不自然だなんて言うつもりはありませんが、ただ
Regardless of the man's stammer, Susanadi can't see any signs of hesitation on his
なんと
face.
いうか1週間ほど前から
Oh,
私も全く同じ体験をしているんです。
oh, that is not good.
同じ体験というと？
私もいつも誰かに見られている気
Pulp
がするんで
free.
す。
Ooh. I do not like orange juice at all, especially not with pulp. I also can't drink it, so that's not a problem, but finally the point of Sojima's story is clear. He's currently in the same position as his missing boss used to be, so he's concerned that he may end up going missing too.
そも
However,
そも上司の方が感じていた視線と行方不明の因果関係も分かっていないんですよね。
ええ、何一つ。
しかも上司が感じていた視線とあなたが感じてい
no,
た
I just feel uncomfortable.
同じものとは限らないのでは？
It's not unlikely that the Sojima fellow's case has no connection to his supervisors, and he only has his own personal
Yeah.
stalker.
おっしゃる通り。
Only? He only has a personal stalker. That's not bad, right? He gives a deep nod without changing his facial expressions in the slightest.
普通じゃないのは確かなんです。あまりに突拍子もない話なので笑わないでいただけるとありがたいのですが。
Okay.
お約束します。そういう話には慣れていますから。
では思い切ってお話しさせていただきますが、
He starts off in a hesitant manner.
私はあるマンションの8階に今日構えておりまして、問題の出来事はその一室で起きました。もともと防音のしっかりしたマンションですし、周囲に音を立てるような場所もなく、夜になると随分と静かなものなんです。だからこそあの音に気づいたと言いますか。
音ですか？
ええ、時刻は夜中の2時過ぎだったと思います。ふと催してトイレに起きまして、ことを済ませた後のことでした。普段物置として使っている部屋から何かが聞こえるような気がして、
Spooky.
泥棒にでも入られたかと中を確かめて
Yeah,
みたんです。
surprisingly enough, the game is actually tagged as horror. Well, surprisingly enough, we just saw a dismembered arm. But yeah, it is horror-ish. So it does fit. I was about to complain, like, damn, I'm not actually playing any games fitting for Spooky Month for October. But this game does count as horror, so we are playing a spooky game.
ですが、室内には人影も物影も見つかりませんでした。だというのに、音は止むことなく続いているんです。
Ooh, knocking on a window.
コツンコツンと、まるで窓か何かをノックしているような音で、慎重に耳を澄ませてみると音の発生場所はすぐに特定できました。どうやら問題の音は部屋の奥にある窓から鳴っているようでした。さては窓に何かが引っかかっているのだろうと一歩踏み出してみたところ、窓のカーテンの隙間中を覗き込んでいる人の顔が。
Ooh.
へ
Cincinnati let out a word because the story had begun drawing close to his
それは
territory.
すぐにまるで逃げるように消え去りましたので、顔を確
This
認
game
で
is
きたのはほん
spooky.
の
This
数
adds
秒の
into
ことで
hard
した。
difficulty.
ただの見間違いの可能性は？
辺りは暗かったので詳細まで見えたわけではありませんが、
Picks up his cup of coffee, hand slightly
見
shaking.
間違いではないと。
もし見間違いならそれに越したことはないのですが、
Mm.
誓ってあれは確かに人の顔でした。
I mean, it could be a doll's face. He sounds like he's thoroughly assured of what he witnessed. He must have seen it very clearly.
偶然あなたの家に侵入しようとしていたものと
But why would they have been outside of the window on the 8th floor? I don't people usually are... Wait, okay, hold on, but it... Depends on if he lives in one of those apartment houses where... Depends on where the window from his storage space goes to, if there's a place to stand outside. But I think usually it would be quite hard to be on the 8th fucking floor. Ah, okay. So much for that. If that's the whole truth, this man is under something far beyond monitoring. Whether this was stalking or robbing, who would climb up a sheer wall without a good reason?
つまりあなたは自分が何者かに監視されていて、そのことと上司の行方不明には関連性があるのではないかと言いたいわけです。
自分でもあまりに口頭無形なことを口にしているのは分かる。
Unless he has spied a man outside his house.
ですが、こんな状況に
I don't think that's very probable.
上司が行方不明になる直前に話していたことを思い出しました。
どんな内容の話を？
深夜、自宅2階の寝室で外から家の中を覗き込んでいる何者かと目が合った。
It does sound extremely similar to his boss's case, yeah.
それが見間違いでなければ、確かに現在あなたが置かれている状況
I'm so sorry.
に極めて似ているかもしれません。
I need to turn up. Woo! I need to accidentally press the button. I need to turn up the heating in my room. I thought it wouldn't be as bad today, but it is cold as hell. It is cold as hell. Even though the evidence is nothing more than Sojima's personal perspective and memory, both of which are pretty vague, Susanadi can tell that something is off. And at the same time, he's already personally decided that he has to stay away from this case. Oh! There are several reasons. First off, simply based on the story so far, it's highly likely that it's something else that's causing this bizarre phenomenon this Sojima guy is facing. Even if everything he says about it is true, it all could have been performed by a human being. With use of tools or techniques, climbing up the wall should be possible. Likewise, you could rope down the wall from an upper floor. Just why would anyone do that? That doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that it's not impossible to reach the 8th floor by going up or down the wall. However bizarre it may sound, the chance of the perpetrator being human is way higher than it being a variant. In other words, the chance of it being a variant-related incident is only 1 in a million. What? That is a very low chance. 1 in a million. Normally people show some kind of mental disturbance when they face what is beyond common sense. Some of them try to act tough while some of them get horribly scared. It depends on the person. Even if it is something that derives from things on that side of the world, most people will more or less go crazy knowing they've been followed for days. Few can remain as composed as him. What makes him even more unnatural is that he has admitted that he witnessed the suspect. The man is irrationally calm. In the first place, this meeting was arranged by one of Suzunari's acquaintances. Noodle Graveyard has nothing to do with it yet. If Suzunari agrees to work for Sojima, he will have to deal with everything from reporting to the ramen shop to going through all the necessary procedures on his own, each of which comes with quite a bit of cost. That's why Suzunari wasn't interested in his case from the very start, but he ended up going anyway because he was told the man was at a complete loss for what to do. However, the one who was supposed to be at a loss looks completely fine in front of him, and there's no proof that his trouble is a variant case. Nothing about it makes any sense. And those are the factors that make Suzunari negative about the job. He's asking more questions, but only out of curiosity.
一つ確認したいのですが、その不審者らしき影を何らかの記録媒体、例えば
How would you have taken a picture at 2 in the fucking morning? If you just tried to check on there after coming back from the... No, never mind. I would have had my phone in hand. But I'm not sure I would have been fast enough to take a picture. But I would have had my phone in hand.
それは唐突だったもので何一つ。
His expression remains unchanged while his tone of voice sounds
他
disturbed.
にあなたの言葉を証明できそうなものは
If one has to wear glasses ever since he lost his contact. Oh my god! Room, please!
何分一人暮らしでして私以外の目撃者もいませんし信じてもらうためにも証拠はないものか探してみたのですが
何も見つからなかった。
はい残念ながら
Suzunari cannot detect any emotions out of his face that goes beyond a poker face. He gives up trying to see through the authenticity of his words from his
最近で
responses.
は夜が怖くて このままでは睡眠不足でどうにか
I
なって
think
し
I'm
まう
going to go insane soon, he says, with the most calm voice you've ever heard in a video game.
お察しします。
それでここまで話を聞いていただいて
結論を言わせてもらうなら自分には判断しかねるといったところで
All you can do is give hat pats to chat. What I can do is eat one of my last pieces of Lebkuchen. Hahaha. And two Susanari is intuitively aware that there has to be something unusual behind the story. That awareness does not arise from the story itself, but from the man's artificial
となる
calm.
と事の調査をお願いしたいという話は
This is either going to be important or a pun. Yeah, especially if the... Sometimes your messages start off with something where I'm like, oh, I wonder where this is going. Then it ends up being a pun. Eight times out of 10 it ends up being a pun.
今回はお断りさせていただくつもりです。
参ったな
He responds
や
nonchalantly.
はり信じてもらえないんですか
正直に言えばあなたが話す内容には何かしらの可能性を感じます。なのでしかるべき場所に報告するつもりですが直接私自身が仕事を受けるにはあなたに対する疑念が強すぎる。
Way too doubtful.
話の内容ではなく私自身が信じられないと
端的に言えば
いやー前もって伺っていた通りに正直な方なんですね
He makes a troubled titter, but his face still smells artificial. I'm sorry, what? His face smells artificial? What?
もしあなたに断られてしまえば私にはもう手の打ちようがない
What do you mean your face smells? Huh?
なぜです。
なぜですって鈴成さん以外の専門家と接点なんて持っていません
現実の事件であるならば探偵に超常現象だと思われるのなら科学者にでも有能無能を問わないのならばネットや口コミで探すこともできるでしょう。
Like in the sense that it smells fishy, but would you say a face smells fishy? Like things can smell fishy, or like a situation can smell fishy, but a face?
どうしてそういった専門家に頼まなければならないんです
Sojima inclines his head to his side as if my question was
だって
strange.
これはただの人間の仕業じゃなければ幽霊やモンスターの仕業でもありません現実に存在する異形の仕業なんですから
Why does he know of the variants?
そしてそれは鈴成さんの専門分野だ
The
だ
person
から
ate
こ
a
そ
fish a short while ago.
私はあなたに相談したのですよ
But then you would, I think then you would still say like, I don't know, they themselves or their breath or whatever smells fishy, but not. The game does not have a separate music and voice slider. No, that is what I'm so upset about. You have 3 settings in this game. The system settings that are like a message. Okay, hold on. You have system, then message log, fast forward, toggle automatic read speed, return to title or exit game. You have text settings that are like text speed, instant, fast, normal, slow, read until page end, and I always put it to instant because I just like that the most. Same for text speed of red lines, instant, fast, normal, default, read until page end. And then you have the display settings. There is not a single fucking setting. There's not even a setting to turn like the overall sound down. I am doing that through just Windows in and of itself. And you cannot turn up the voices because I can barely hear them. You guys can barely hear them. I'm very sorry, but I can't help it.
ええ、これがもし異形の仕業であればそうなりますね。
Why does this random guy know about variants? It's not a thing that is known to the public generally. Just how much does this man know? The question is swelling up inside Susanoni's mind. As Sojima mentioned just now, the entities called variants are wholly different from monsters or ghosts and tales. There certainly are definitions for them, but they're not anything that amateurs can properly make out in one glance. Some training and experience are inevitably required. Even many of those who work in this business but don't directly deal with variants themselves can't distinguish variant-related cases from those that aren't.
But what about this man? Susanari does not know where he learned about them, but he seems to know about variants and about Susanari possessing countermeasures against them. What has made this ordinary man so sure must be... Either way, this is out of the question. Susanari finishes up his drink and lets out a sigh. There's nothing more to talk or ask about between the two men, and they will not see each other ever again. Standing against variance itself is already too much of a risk. The world Susanari walks in is one where you risk your life fighting against those that may hide deadly fangs or poison. You must learn everything you can about your opponent in order to minimize the risk on a battlefield. And nonetheless, this man is clearly hiding something. How could he do anything for him, risking his own life? Your overall volumes and foremost of time. What? Okay. My overall volume is at 100, and I just turned down every single window to some other kind of level. And then what I usually do is just turn up my speakers if I want it louder or lower. So. Receiving a clear-cut denial, the strange consultor takes it more easily than Susanari expected. It seems like he had predicted he would be turned down. He picks up the bill and offers to pay it as gratitude for Susanari's time and trouble, saying it is such a shame. Even then, his face remains frozen like that of a doll. Oh, I can see, yeah, he does look very... non-expressive. Okay, so time to go back to the ramen shop and find out more about the cut-off arm. Your headphones are just way too loud. Ah, I see. Well, as long as it works for you. I know that my overall stream volume is also extremely low, so I always, like, when I listen back to what's, I'm like, damn, I have to put that to like 100. You guys can barely hear me, but everything like, I can't turn it up more. My microphone is already going over the top. I can't turn it up more. Pops, I've got some questions for you. I do not give a fuck what the couple in the park were doing. If they wanted to do some funny exhibitionism stuff, that's their thing. I'm not interested in that in the slightest.
Yes, for real!
What I want to ask about is the case. The knick-knack shop, the crime scene, what was it like there?
人間が一人で暴れたにしては派手すぎるって話だ。重量のある棚とかも派手に倒れてるそうだぜ。それから大ぶりな刃物が振り回された傷跡が壁や棚から複数見つかっている。
That could be the weapon they used to chop Nikawa's arm off.
おそらくはな。ちなみに該当するような刀剣類は雑貨屋には一切置いてなかったそうだ。
Which means the blade was brought from the outside. What about the footprints left there?
雑貨屋は全力で抵抗したんだろうな。物やら血やらでめちゃくちゃに荒れていて、まともに足跡を拾うのは難しいって話だ。もともと店員や業者の往来も激しい場所らしくてな。
See, I have a decent grasp of the big picture now, and that's why I noticed something. Pops, why was it this morning that you called me in here? I already have an idea. The assault case occurred a week ago, and the exact same day the abandoned arm was reported to the authorities, which served as a trigger to consider Doll as a suspect. And 3 days later, 4 days before today, the victim recovered enough to tell the police about the doll. None of those points seem critical enough for Pops to have summoned me here this morning. I assume something happened between yesterday and this morning?
さすがジュニア。
さすがジュニア。
問題は今朝届いたこのリストだ。まずはこれに軽く目を通してみてくれや。
He passes me a piece of paper and I stare down at it as told. So, is this a list of the doll's previous owners?
まだ調べ始めたばかりで不完全だがな。
On the paper I see individual names, their old and current addresses, and the time periods they owned the doll. The owners are sorted from newest to oldest, and the oldest known date shows that the doll in question is more than 10 years old. Okay, I can see why I was called.
だろう。
I
can tell how bizarre this is without any details. The issue lies in the addresses section. There are 7 fully identified owners and what's written in for the current address is missing. All of them are missing. Huh?
判明している限り、大怪我をした雑貨屋以外の全員がな。
For over 10 years? Can't be a coincidence.
むしろ偶然であってほしいぜ。
When did they start putting this list together?
3日前だ。
I'm tremendously impressed by the capabilities of the Disobeyers intelligence gathering department, the same way as when I worked on Munasa Tomomi's case the other day. And the fact that the list has the missing people on it as a result of the 3-day investigation by those competent members tells me, if that's the case, these missing owners are...
今のところじゃなく。
Yeah, they're probably dead. The only reason it's coming up, thank you for the hide time in the pet. The only reason it's coming up is because this one guy survived the attack. Legally dead. Yeah, if you go missing for too long. Are they thought to be dead because too much time has passed?
そういうことだ。括弧書きで死亡と書かれている人間にしても、死体つまり全員が跡形もなく消えちまってる。
7 people who owned the doll are all missing. How insane.
波の事件ならわざわざジュニアは呼ばねえだろ。
If this case is very unrelated, it will be categorized as rather severe in terms of the number of victims so far. Have there been any suspects for any of the disappearances?
分かってる範囲ではゼロだ。周囲の働きかけで警察が動いたケースもあったが、事件性はなかったらしい。全員が跡形もなく突然消えたってイメージだな。
It sounds like they were all spirited away.
雑貨屋での件を調べようと思ったら、別のヤバい何かを見つけちまったって話だ。
This might be an inappropriate thing to say, but I feel like the missing case is much more than the assault case.
ぶっちゃけ雑貨屋の方は残虐性が高いだけで、ただの強盗事件って可能性も残ってるからな。
On the contrary, we have no idea what's been going on with the disappearances. Motives, purposes, or scales, nothing whatsoever.
俺が急ぎでジュニアに声をかけた理由がわかる。
Because I'm great at my job, obviously. Yes.
あまりに未通な相手となると、ジュニアが先方を務めるのが一番だからな。
In a nutshell, I may end up having to charge into the battlefield without knowing who or what awaits me. Actually, that's exactly what we're talking about. I have no problem with that. This seems to have started in my area after all.
雑貨屋が入院してるのが中央区だから、もしもの場合を考えて、バカップルにも伝えておくつもりだぜ。
That's very assuring. I don't know how much it would help, but I'd like to ask for permission to go somewhere.
行く先は
The Object Professional.
なら問題なしだ。
The
俺
Object
ももう
Professional?
少し資料が
Sounds
集ま
like
っ
a
た
new
ら
character.
相談してみるつもりだったしよ。だけど、まあ気をつけろよ。主に懐具合にな。
I know that.
もしもの時は真っ先に連絡を入れるから頼むぜ。
Roger. Now that things have turned out this way, I have to keep myself available so I can respond swiftly to any new information. That will limit what I can do during Golden Week, but that's what I expected in the first place. The past few years have always been like this. I never get more than a few peaceful days at once.
とはいえ、せっかくのゴールデンウィークだ。お前の性質は理解してるが、ある程度の息抜きも忘れずにな。
His parting words were clearly suggesting I should amply prepare myself for whatever may come. The rest of my holidays will not be calm. And it's only the first day. Slightly unusual knick-knack shop that occupies a room in the multi-tenant building. Its real identity is a shop that only offers variant-related products to the disobeyers. Without technical knowledge, you would have no idea how valuable all those goods can be. Okay. Kamisaki Station. Worthy of carrying its name, it is a major artery in the city's transportation network. While the section that covers my place and a noodle shop is considered more for commuter town, the station takes on myriad roles. It's not just a hub with multiple routes, but also a complex providing entertainment, commerce, offices, medical services and such. Because this area sees so much activity, it's very important to the disobeyers. Accordingly, we have plenty of people and facilities situated here. I wonder what kind of program they made all of these in. Like what kind of 3D program was used for the backgrounds. The north side of the station brims with commercial and entertainment facilities. A short walk from the main thoroughfare, there's a multi-tenant building in a narrow alley. At first glance, the lack of signs on display gives the impression the building is used for morally questionable purposes. My destination is one of the rooms in here. Ooh, that is red.
こんな偏僻な店にあなたのようにかっこいい人がどうして？
A welcoming cry runs through the store the moment I enter. The source of that unabashed flattering remark toward the abrupt customer is a young man wearing an unusual outfit combining a school uniform and a short apron.
なんだ、ファッション雑誌の有名モデルかと思ったらユウさんじゃないですか。
You have a very feminine way of speaking.
いやー、いつお会いしてもかっこいいですね。きっと学校でもモテになるんでしょう。
Let's get this out of the way. I just came here to ask you some questions, not to buy anything.
なんだよ、何がモデルだよ。もう暗く湿った場所で土でも掘ったのって話だよ。
I see, as soon as I'm not a customer anymore, I'm not interesting. Better leave it to a specialist. When it comes to objects, I don't know anyone better than Nanashi though, the shop and Nanashi himself. His real name is Nanakami. He's a disobeyer who runs a shop Nanashi though, frequented by other disobeyers. Because of his all too virile business sense, he has various kinds of nicknames. Scrooge, Miser, or Pinchpenny. Apparently he finds that sort of reputation satisfying rather than offensive. Okay. Even though he has a slightly very twisted personality, he does possess potent powers and a wealth of knowledge that make up for that.
ま、ユウさんがお一人でうちの店に来てくれるなんてなかなかないことですから、表面上は愛想よくしておきますけど。
You probably shouldn't mention the on the surface part. You stop being nice the moment you do.
心から愛想よくするには何か買っていただけないと。
Sorry, I didn't bring my wallet today. I have my mobile and travel card with me, so there was no trouble getting here. Well, even if I had my wallet, I wouldn't be able to afford any of the products available here. Oh, do they not? You know, in Germany, you do have to have your ID with you. You need to be able to... well, you know, I don't know, if the police ask you who you are, you need to have your ID with you all the time. Going out without a wallet is something I would never do. Like if it's further than, I don't know, taking out the trash or something, I always have it with me. That's the thing here too, right? Listen here, Nanashi, you're always too desperate to rob your customers of everything they've got. You're as good as a bandit. With his purest eyes ever! Stay until I can make you higher because I got something to do. Okay! And now you're at 490. Yeah. Yeah, the hydrate is a little more expensive because I don't want to be drinking all the time.
Oh, thank you for the resub. 21. 21 months straight. Jesus. Thank you. 21.
Do you drink filtered water? Yeah. Tap water. It's just tap water. Tap water here where I live is drinkable. It's just tap water and then I put it in my, what is that? A Soda Max to make it go brrrr. It's just normal tap water. Okay, I give up. Our perspectives are just way too different for us to understand each other. For now, I promise I'll buy something from you next time I'm here.
本当ですか？そんなつもりはなかったのに、なんだか申し訳ないです。
申し訳ないです。
Everything you said was meant to make me do this, wasn't it?
それで、お話というのは一体？僕の知ってることなら何でも答えちゃいますよ。
This sort of hard sell, almost blackmail dialogue is what he usually exchanges with his customers. However, once the deal has been settled, he always makes sure you get your money's worth. Forceful, yet not foul. And that is why he and his shop have considerable credibility with me and a lot of my co-workers. I might work on a doll-related case, and I'd like your advice as an object expert.
人形ですか。それはまた幅が広いというか、難易度の高そうなジャンルで。
To be realistic, I'm not expecting clear answers, even just some hints would help.
I'm still trying to sort out what I got from the noodle graveyard just now.
そういうことならばこの商売多少は気が楽ですかね。早速ですが事件とやらの詳細をお聞かせ願えますか？
Sure. A week ago. I wonder why it's made like this. You could have just made it like go to a black screen and then continue. Why the fuck did I have to go to the world map again? And that's all I can share with you at this point.
なるほど。所有者全員が行方不明ですか。ホープダイヤのようなものですかね。
What's the Hope Diamond? The old war sense Persona swag. Yeah! It does. Average Persona fan. Damn, this reminds me of Persona. A blue diamond currently owned by the Smithsonian Institution in the United States. Not only its value as jewel, but the peculiar history of its past owners has been added to its legend. The jewel is also known as a cursed gem that brings harm to its owners. Oh, is that a real diamond then? Okay. Is that the diamond that they say brings calamity to its owners?
です。あれについては呪い云々って話自体かなり
Time for drinkies.
されてます。
Alright, thank you for the hide time. Also, thank you for coming by. If you have something to do, then by all means. By all means. But thank you for coming by. And you suspect this doll is a similar sort of cursed object?
そうですね。世界各地には人形にまつわる怪談や民話などが
There
豊
are.
富にあるということはユウさんはご存知ですか？
There was one of the Project Zero games had a really large focus on the dolls, I think, as well. Yeah, hold on, I'll write it down so I don't forget, and then I'll go check up on Fuba novel later on. Thank you. Fuba. Thank you. Bot, don't kill me. You're good. You're good. Which one was it? One of the Project Zero games had it because in that one they had also the Japanese type of dolls, and their hair would grow even like longer and longer. And at first you don't notice, you're like, okay, they have long hair, sure, but it starts growing slowly but surely and it keeps getting longer. Which one was that? You looked last night in Yakuza's only being considered to end at 3, but then they changed their mind. That explains a lot of the ending. There's an anime about this. Specifically about Japanese dolls with the long hair, or... I'm not sure about folk tales, but I'd say spooky stories about them are stock material. A doll whose hair grows longer, or one chasing after you with a murder weapon in hand, you name it. And yeah, the one whose hair grows longer.
それらの話の中には実際に物理化した人形が元になっているケースが多数あるんです。それくらいに人形というのは物理としては珍しくはありません。
See, so it is a thing that can happen. The doll can be a variant. I wasn't sure about that. So the point is, it's not surprising if the doll has something to do with this case?
そのためにも一つ確認したいのですが、その人形がどれくらい古いものか。
At least 10 years. Sorry, I don't have that sort of information on it.
人形の髪に
But you could have told him it has to be at least 10 years. That is some information. That's unclear as well, but if it does, then what does it tell you?
人形の年代。それが多分近年に作られたものではないことがわかります。
When it was made, is that a key factor?
ええ、昭和の初期以前は収集品や見せ物なんかの分野で人形はとても身近なものだったんです。
The older dolls used in Girls' Day look tidier than what we have these days, if you ask me.
もっと身近なところで子供のおも もちゃの定番としても
I
親し
mean,
まれていました
there's a big difference between a plastic doll, like, you know, something like a Barbie type of, not necessarily like brand name Barbie, but something along the lines of a Barbie, and porcelain dolls, for example, or not even, they don't have to be out of porcelain, but like these old, bigger dolls, there is a great difference between those, quality-wise, and how commonplace they were, for sure.
物意っていうのは人からの強い思いを
Over here as well.
物が異様化
Like
した存在です
the old, you know, those old dolls that, I don't know, your grandma always seemed to have, like sitting somewhere in the bedroom or storage with the big eyes, the curly hair. They're not that common anymore. I don't think you can get dolls of that kind aside as from like collector's items anymore.
そこまで大切に例えば24時間肌身離さずまるで家族のように人形を扱うなんてこと現代ではそう見ない
Well, I say that having spent a bunch of hours yesterday looking at ball jointed dolls again, which you can definitely consider a very, very money heavy hobby. And those get treated as collector's items. If you buy ball jointed dolls by companies, it works on a like member basis. It's like, hey, you get an actual certificate for owning these dolls. Like, this is a specific doll with the name blah 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 and this and that, and you get a certificate for it. You're now an official owner of that kind of doll. I'm like, damn, I do not have several hundreds of euros just to buy a doll, but god damn, if I had, I would have so many of those. Getting a ball jointed doll was one of my early wishes, sometime around when I was 15, but when I was 15 I obviously didn't have the money either, and then I started getting into a bunch of other stuff as well that already is taking up most of my money, so far off dreams that I'm never going to be able to fulfill. Yay! People would consider them a bit crazy.
だから人形の物意というのは近年に生まれたものよりある程度古いものの方が圧倒的に多いんです
That explains Nancy's concern over the doll's age. Do you suspect the doll is the one that has caused all the missing people?
道具として人形の物意が使われていることは否定しませんが犯人は人間だと思います
What makes you think that?
起こっている事件がなんていうか人間臭いです
What do you mean, smells human?
ユウさんは物意を使わず自分の体一つで戦うタイプですから実感がないかもしれませんがありえないくらい切れるナイフだったり足が
Got
速
a
くな
girl
る
whose
靴
hair
だっ
can't
た
be
り
cut.
特別な力を持っていると
Oh, tell me the name though, because that
物意は
sounds
やっぱ
familiar
り
enough.
ものなんです
We're back to the smelling. But in this case, I can get it. Dansei Bundi no Cry Match. Oh, okay. I remember a manga that was also about a girl whose hair you couldn't. Well, they could cut it, but they were not allowed. That one was Kamikami Kaishi, because she would house the gods in her hair, because it was a triple play on the word kami, both being god, hair, and paper for whatever reason, but I can't remember what the paper part was about.
道具であるからに
It
は
was not
結
that
局は
good a
誰
manga,
がど
but
う
I
使
have
う
it.
かが肝になります
Dansei Bundi no Cry Match. Okay.
今回で言えば人を消すという仕組みを持った人形がいるかもしれない
But it's a human being that uses a doll to do it?
僕にはそのように感じられます ユウさんが映画や怪談で思い浮かべる人形は人を襲った後いちいち証拠隠滅を図りますか
Oh yeah. I've seen that before. That looks familiar. A boy who has developed an obsession for cutting hair encounters a girl who's never had her hair cut because it's cursed. What kind? A boy who has developed an obsession for cutting hair. Who the fuck sat down and was like, you know what? I'm going to make my protagonist obsessed with cutting hair. Okay. Vroom. Couldn't be you. No, couldn't be you. Thank you for the short hair reading.
What the hell?
And he's voiced by Hana Inatsuki, because of course he is voiced by Hana Inatsuki. Okay. Looking shaming. I am. I am. In the first place, I would probably kick down doors and stuff before attacking anyone. And that would leave a lot of evidence behind.
おそらくそのイメージは正解です。人を消すことだけが目的の物理がいちいちドアを開けて人の家に入る必要がない。痕跡を残さないように、しかも特定の人物だけを狙ってなんか思考をするの。
They are human. I've gone through innumerable variant cases myself, but I've never seen a variant that did cover-ups like that.
人でも物でも獣でも、異形というのは思いを満たすためだけの存在です。ただ直線的に最短で行動しますから。
Why would a carnivorous beast clean up the leftover prey? I'm aware that it's an extreme example, but that must be what he's trying to get across to me. By the way, what's your opinion on what the store owner said?
髪が伸びるとか動き回るとか、そういう人形は見たことがありますけどね。
So those really do exist, huh?
人を襲うのはまだしも、切り取った腕を持ち運ぶとなると、人間の意志のようなものを感じます。
Yeah. No, I get it though. Nanashi seems to be speculating that both of the events were caused by a human. Looking at it realistically, the whole thing could be something the shop owner made up to cover up a slightly psychotic robbery. Even if he's telling the truth, everything is doable if their disobey is capable of manipulating dolls or rewriting memories behind it.
人形が特殊な物理で、それを一般の方が操っているケースも考えられますね。
I didn't think the possibilities were this endless.
それでいかがですか？僕が提供した。
And now he's like, okay, now pay up. Thanks a lot, it was all really helpful.
喜んでいただけたのならば幸いです。ただし、最初に言ったように参考にできる情報があまりに少ないですから。
Don't worry about it, I'm not going to take everything you said at face value. But rats, I wish I'd brought the files with me here to show you.
仕方ありませんよ。情報の閲覧はできても、持ち出しとなると担当者でも基本許されないんですよね。
I still could have gotten the doll's picture here though. I'm sure it doesn't tell you any personal information or any elements linking to us.
人形の写真ですか。確かにそれは一度見てみたいよな。僕の方からおやすさんに頼んで取り寄せてみましょうかね。その写真を。
You don't have to go that far. I need your advice, but if you do that, it'll make me feel sorry. More like make me feel scared. Scared you'll charge extra.
いえいえ。こちらも商売として成立したのであれば、いい加減な情報は渡したくないですし、もちろん別料金は発生しないので安心してください。
Well, that makes me even more worried.
やだなあ、ユウさん。僕は命ある限り、ただ働きはしない人間ですよ。裏があるに決まってるじゃないですか。
I try not to compare designs between games that have nothing to do with each other because, you know, it just happens. That sometimes characters look the same, but he keeps reminding me of someone and I can't place it. It's making me so fucking mad. You really say shocking things just like that?
この話には僕にもメリットがあるんです。
What do you mean?
高い確率で人間の仕業と言いましたが、その子の仕業だという可能性もゼロではありませんからね。
Well, what is still the most surprising thing to me is that the artist who worked on this game seems to have not worked on any other game ever since and does not really have anything much online either.
そんな珍しいこと出会うため
Like,
なら
what do you mean? You just did one professional work, which is drawing a bunch of sprites and artwork for one game and then dip? What? That makes sense. In that case, you want me to get the picture from Pops right now? Whatever reasons behind it, it cannot hurt to run a little errand like that if the famous Nanashi though is going to assist me free of charge.
遠慮します。そんなことをすれば僕が大人たちに怒られちゃいますって。
Angry for what?
あの天川優を伝書鳩代わりにしていいわけないでしょ。
I don't think it's that big a deal.
おやっさんへは僕から連絡しておきますから。あの人には貸しが多いので、いろいろと都合がつくと思いますし。
In Pop's shoes, I would definitely try to pay it off as quickly as possible, even if the price were a little too steep. Nanashi's going to get his hands on a copy of the doll's picture for sure, unless something extremely unexpected comes up.
おやすさんの手際でしたら今日中に写真は届くでしょう。明日にでも顔を出していただければ写真を見た上での意見をお伝えできると思いますよ。
You got it. I'll find the time. Even if Nanashi has some kind of ulterior motive, it's very reassuring that I get to hear his opinion at least one more time. I guess I'll come back tomorrow morning. Damn, we have a lot of stuff to do on this fine Friday. I'm assuming this one is going to be about her again. Yep. It's like, oh no, he did not show up to school. Whatever shall I do? This afternoon was the blandest and dullest one in the last couple of years, and now I'm slouched over my desk feeling downright lazy. The bell of dismissal rang a long time ago, but I haven't budged an inch from my desk, as though my bottom and the chair had been tightly glued to one another. Every sigh that I'm letting out at the moment is caused by anxiety, not by the glee that I had this morning. Of course I'm disappointed that things didn't go at all as I'd expected, but most of all I'm worried about him. I know it's not unusual for him to miss school out of the blue like today. The reason can be anything. Maybe he's sick, maybe he suddenly felt like skipping. But I also know there's something else that could get him to skip school too. There's no way for me to read his mind, but I can vividly remember every moment when I saw him whenever I want. The way he walks, the way he talks, even all the tiny mannerisms that he wouldn't even notice he has. I'm capable of describing all of them from memory. Does she know how insane she sounds? Jesus Christ. If you received your voicemail as aquarium some poggers with you, the aquarium sounds great. I love going to the aquarium actually, which is surprising, since I cannot handle looking at fish. But aquarium makes it okay. Somehow. It's the entire atmosphere of it, I think. She almost killed me. I saw that script earlier today when I woke up and I thought it was nice, so I wanted to try it as well. I guarantee that I never miss any change about him, however small it is. And it's precisely because of that that I can make out the differences in him between before and after a day of absence. Legs, arms, chest, or abdomen. Abdomen. Yeah. He's always injured somewhere when he returns, though he tries to conceal it. So whenever he misses school, I'm overwhelmed by concern for him until I can see for myself that he's okay. I literally get too disturbed by it to do anything at all. Even if he leaves for only 2 or 3 days, it's long enough to make me lose sleep. How am I going to end up after this long vacation? Generally speaking, just one phone call would be enough to tell if he's fine, but... I mean, you can do it without a fancy mic. I just did it with a voice tweet, which also just used my phone's microphone, and it sounded okay. To me, calling Amakawa is as hard as clearing a 10-meter high jump. Success would mean a world record. After years of research, I've confirmed that he has an extreme dislike of people intruding too far into his personal space. But then again, if you keep the right distance, he will make a good and nice friend. That's why when I'm with him, I pay the most attention to the distance between us rather than to the conversation topics or my behavior. What if I suddenly call him in his private time? What's more, I can't see his expression and body language over the phone, which means I can't measure the right distance. It's too risky. He bought his first cell phone last year, and I managed to get his number from him in the course of our conversation. In fact, I was so elated that I kept on staring at the number and ended up burning it into my mind on the same day. I could talk to him if I just pressed the call button on my mobile, but that single touch of a button takes a world of effort for me. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say to him when he picks up the phone. I mean, you could try saying like, "Hey, I'm sorry for calling you so suddenly. I was worried because you didn't come to school today. Is everything okay with you?" Like a normal person. Kamiyama Aozora Park, a large park used by the neighborhood as a recreation space and playground. On clear days, many families have lunch on the grass. Wait, who the fuck is going to be at the park? Oh, you again. I expected there to be a gaggle of onlookers, but the park is surprisingly peaceful. Technically, this is not a crime scene. It's just one place where a trail of the incident was found, and the incident is an assault case, not a murder. People living around here should be spreading the word, but this could just be the usual way people react after all. At least I don't see any children around. Parents must have told them not to come here. I came here to find out something, but it feels like this is going to be an exercise in futility. What plagues me the most is the question of why the assailant would leave the arm behind in this very park. Did they do it for some express purpose, or was there some reason they had to do it?
Carrying the arm around is excessively risky if you ask me. They might have taken a car from the shop, but cars aren't allowed in the park. So they would have had to carry the arm over from the parking lot by hand, even if it were in a bag or case. Just why did they do it or have to do it despite the risk? Given how long has passed since the occurrence of the event and how much traffic this park usually has, it is hardly likely that there'd still be any verifiable evidence left anywhere. Even so, I came all the way down here hoping to find some clues by checking out the park's features and the distance between the entrance and where the arm was abandoned, but the spot where the couple found the arm is so open that someone would have found it sooner or later, even if they'd overlooked it. I don't think that the culprit used this spot to hide the arm. If that's the case, then they do it on purpose so people could find it. But that brings another question, why this park? If they wanted a place where no one's around at night, but someone will show up for sure in the morning, they could have picked a school or a station near the knick-knack shop. Huh. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a nearby bush that has been severely disturbed. The police should have investigated it, so I don't believe it's something to care about. Hold on a sec. The actual attack happened in a knick-knack shop, and this was simply the place where the arm was abandoned. What if the police thought that way? And what if that mess in the bush has something to do with the abandoned arm? Check it out! What the fuck? Just check it out, please! Why do you change back to the... A road near the Yamakawa residence. A lot of good old residents can be seen in this area. She's gonna go to his home and be like, hey, I'm bringing over the DVD, but he's not home because he's working. No, never mind, it's him again. School should be long over by now. Since she doesn't participate in any club activities, maybe she's on her way home already. I was thinking of texting Ogawa before I got home, but I've been standing here at a total losses for what to do, for what to write for minutes. Ever since this morning, there's been a nagging reminder at the back of my mind that I wasn't able to get a DVD from her. Even if I were to get it now, I wouldn't have the time to watch it anytime soon. Even if I managed to make 2 hours for it, I'd be too concerned about whatever misfortune could be going on around the doll to focus on a movie. I admit that I simply regret not seeing her today. Actually, I've been looking forward to seeing her even more than usual because of the parting smile she had at school 2 days ago. Having asked her to bring me the DVD, I ended up skipping school. I'm obviously the one to blame, so... Sorry I couldn't make it to school today. I tried to text that to her countless times, and I believe I really should. But how am I supposed to respond if she asks why I was absent? Just say you weren't feeling well and go! I could just claim that I had some family affairs to deal with, but I don't want to lie to her if I can help it. I feel guilty for not being able to tell her everything. To make up for it, I want to be as honest with her as I can when I don't absolutely need to lie. She might eventually ask me a similar question after Golden Week too. I probably need another cover up then, but at least I should feel a little better about it if I look her in the eye, listen to her voice, and sincerely face whatever reaction she would have. Still, I'm going to have to lie to her, and that fact won't change. I know how self-centered I'm being. I delete my message draft and put the mobile back into my pocket. Both of them are weird in very different ways. Jesus Christ. Like, she's just straight up obsessed with him, and he's just like, oh no, I don't want to lie to her, but I'm going to make it very weird. Just say you also like to hang out with her. It's the bottom of the 8th, the score is 0-0. While the sports announcer is giving a running commentary on the heated duel on the mound, the shop owner is fully concentrated on pre-cooking and utter silence. He always keeps the TV on when he's at it. It's a part of his customer service, so as to not let the silence make his customers feel uncomfortable when they come in. He'd like to use more appropriate music that matches the shop's interior, but in order to make that happen, he'd have to establish a relationship with some service provider. Considering the shop's true identity, it's not a good idea to connect with people on the other side more than necessary, which is why he gave up on an improvement. A loud ringing echoes inside the shop.
Ayo, gekyu mate!
The caller gives out a nasty comment as a greeting. It's rare to speak to him on the phone. I really hope we get to see the girl Suzunari is dating. Suzunari is the type of man who refers to people by the description or title. Amakawa Yu is high schooler, and the shop owner Pops, which is simply a straightforward description of how he looks in his cooking uniform. Please don't.
お前はさ、そういうことは先に報告をしてだな。っていうか、昨日来た時に話していけや。
Seemingly used to this sort of rebuke, Susanari lets the cook's reproof pass over him and goes on.
話の内容自体は苦労とまでは言わないけど、グレーな印象だった。
ってことは受けたのか。
断った。話の内容はグレー止まりだったけど、相談者本人が高確率で苦労。俺はともかくマロンちゃんは巻き込めない。
ああ、なるほどな。だから俺に電話をしたと。
そういうこと。
Having figured out Susanari's intention, the shop owner immediately pulls a pen and a memo pad out of his pocket and scribbles down Susanari's name and the current time as though writing a delivery order.
オーダーはその相談者自身の調査か。
ああ。
じゃあよ、分かっている範囲でいいから調べる相手の情報を頼むわ。
Susanari's one of the best they've got. If he suspects the man, it's worthwhile to investigate. There's no need to know what caused the suspicion or how strong it is. That is a manifestation of the chef's trust in
駅
him.
前の白沢商事系列の会社に勤めているらしい。名は添島。年は30くらい。体型は細身で長身。俺より3、4センチほど低かった。
The shop owner quickly scribbles the information down.
どういったつながりでお前がわざわざ出向いたのよ。
つながりは一切なし。知り合いの知り合いってところさ。
A friend of a friend, huh?
はあ？お前らしくもねえ。身元もはっきりしないやつと会ったってのか。
As far as the shop owner knows, Susanari's a cautious man who doesn't make one-on-one contact with complete strangers, and even more so when it's got something to do with variants. The cautiousness must have been what made him turn down his fishy
向こう
case.
が明かせないって言ったらしくてね。そもそも俺は会うこと自体を断ろうと思ったんだけどさ。
ああ、クリな。
If that's the case, it makes perfect sense. Susanari puts Kuri above everything in the world.
知らないから話だけでも聞いてあげればって心配そうな顔で。見た目だけじゃなく心も天使そのものだよ。マロンちゃん。
はいはい。ずいぶん身近に天使がいてよかったな。
The shop owner tries to express how tired he is of the topic, wondering if Susanari can take the hint.
ああ、俺は世界で一番幸せな男だ。
で、他に情報は？
え？情報ってマロンちゃんの？
No.
バカだな。電話でマロンちゃんの素晴らしさが語りきれるわけないだろ。
That's what we were wondering about.
だろ？じゃねえよ。事件を依頼してきたやつの情報を聞きてんだよ。
ああ、そっちな。そっちは知らねえ。マンションに住んでるって話だけど、そのマンションがどこにあるかも聞かせてもらえなかった。
おいおい、実際に会って話したんだろう。相談だっていうからには多少は自ら情報を出してくるもんだろうが、自分がこういう人間でこういう状況でってよ。
Yeah, well, he didn't. By trouble, he doesn't mean ordinary trouble. He means variant-related trouble. People normally prattle off their anxiety and fear over variants unless they're in extreme confusion or panic. It gives them some relief and helps them to convey how terrified they were. In most actual cases, one question draws 3 or 4 answers out of them. Also, they can't open up about their problems to just anyone. If they confide in the wrong people, they could end up being considered a loony. Yet under these circumstances, even after finding someone he could talk to, the man in question refused to speak much about himself and what is happening around him.
そういうことなのか。
まあ、そういうことさ。
He could be one of those who fully grasp the situation without fear, or have some reason to conceal what they know while tormented by fear. Either way, he's surely hiding something.
俺が相手を黒だと思った一番の理由もそこだよ。調査を断ったとしてまともに粘ろうとはしなかった。
なるほどな。そりゃアウトかもしれねえわな。
こうやって親父に調査を依頼する気持ちもわかるだろ。
まあこっちとしてはお前なら大体の状況を切り抜けられるだろうから一層飛び込んで確認してほしかったところだけどな。
The shop owner knows full well that Susanari is competent enough to prevent the worst from occurring. In addition, the inexplicable crime wave has strained the intelligence department's resources.
話を持ち込んだからには最低限の秘訣は持つよ。
Oh, that's nice.
マジで頼むぜ。
そうだ、追加で情報を一つ。あくまでこれは俺の主観なんだけど、
前置きはいらねえよ。
なんというか人形みたいな男だった。言動にいちいち心がこもってないっていうか。
The shop owner gives a snort at the thought that the word has been going around a lot
何か引
lately.
っかかることでもあるのか。
まあその件についてはさっきクリに説明しておいたから、なれ
よく俺が外から電話してるって分かった。
帰宅済みだったらクリがお前に話さないわけねえからな。お前らの間には秘密も何もありゃしねえだろうが。
That's too ridiculous to be called a deduction. The relationship is so well known among those involved that it's almost common
まあ
sense.
そっちの方はジュニアを先方に考えてるからな。保険みたいなもんよ。
ってことは講師か。
いや、紫外線が予想される上におそらくすでに複数名が命を落としている。
そりゃ高校生に頼まない方が荒れるかな。
だろう。
Shop owner frowns in agony
最後に
answering.
一つ確認だけど、俺の方でも知り合いづてに探りを入れるか。
そうしてもらったら助かるぜ。こっちも急ぎ情報部に回しとくが、最近立て込んでるらしいから優先順位は低くなっちまうかもしれねえがな。
まあそこら辺は任せる。一応黒だった時は連絡頼む。
Fortunately for Susanari, if that turns out to be the case, the shop owner will have to do more. Will have to have him do more. In the worst scenario, Susanari himself will have to fulfill his duties to the last. Thinking now, the shop owner
分かったぜ。
answers.
期待して待ってな。
面倒なことになりそうな気がするわ。
I imagine what blah blah blah. I'm fucking up what I have to read out and whatnot. Susanari mutters in a depressed tone of voice as if foreseeing something. Right. Ever since I arrived home, I've had only the case on my mind. Judging from the list of owners, this whole affair started long ago and has only recently come to our attention. If it turns out that what happened in the past is something terrible, we'll probably have some answers soon. Even if I end up facing a stormy situation, I'm going to need to handle myself well, hence I believe that sorting out considering each act will be meaningful. I need to correctly recognize what I'm going to be fighting against. Oh, reasoning mode! Finally! Yay! Okay, a shop owner was assaulted a week ago. Well, who does the victim claim did it? A doll. Oh my god, okay, I'm just gonna use my mouse. Where in the shop did the assault occur? In the backyard. Why would the park be considered in the shop? Hello? What incident can be connected to the assault? The doll owner's disappearances. We only have that one. Yes. Ooh, result rank S. Nice. I mean, that was easy. Only thing I can think of is maybe that was a translation issue for parking lot. No, I mean we were at the park. I think the issue comes from them saying where in the shop did the assault occur, despite and then them having found the arm in the park. But then they would have had to write like where did the assault occur, not where in the shop. That makes it very obvious that it's somewhere else. But hey, whatever. I think that's all I can tell at this point. To go further, I'll have to wait for more intel. To be honest, as the one to butt heads against the enemy, my main priority is learning more about their capabilities or identity. In that regard, I only really have one hint, and what I can derive from it just appears to be a bad sign.
The subject is a time when Nikawa, the victim, got his arm chopped off. Given that he called an ambulance himself, there's no question that he was conscious after the mutilation, which proves that he was not unconscious or delirious while getting attacked. And on top of that, since he wasn't severely injured except for the arm, he should have still been able to move around. What all of those facts tell me is chances are pretty good that his arm got slashed off while he was still capable of moving. As the mess at the scene indicates, there was a desperate chase between the victim and the assailant. This is so not good. No matter how sharp the aggressor's weapon might be, it's not easy to chop off the arm of someone running around. Yet they still did it. It's logical to assume the assailant possesses extraordinary physical ability or abnormal technique. And then there's a plain abnormality while taking the severed arm and abandoning it in the park. With all that considered, whether they're human or something else, this is not going to be an easy job. Not like you need any hints figuring it out. Heh heh heh. Detective New is on the case. S-rank scenario number 1, the open window. Oh, so if you get S-rank, we also get more scenes. What do you call an alligator that solves crimes? An alligator that solves crimes. An investigator? Yay! I was like, what? Didn't hear that one before. I'm glad I got it. Maybe I should have called the police after all. The man feels a pang of regret before going to bed. But nothing was stolen and there's no evidence of a break-in, so it's unlikely the police would provide any assistance. That doesn't change the incomprehensibility of his situation. When he returned home, he found his bedroom window open. He clearly remembers checking the lock before going out. He can even recall the moon-shaped side of the Crescent lock pointing towards the window glass. His parents' house was burglarized when he was in high school, which caused him to become very careful with locks when leaving home. It's been nearly 10 years since then, but he still triple checks whatever he's just locked, whether it be a window or a door. His mother called the day before and told him that his cousin, who runs a knick-knack shop in the city, had lost an arm during a robbery last week. He doesn't get along with his cousin that well, but he's still worried and depressed that someone he knows has been harmed. Since the phone call, he has been obsessive about locking up. He has absolute confidence in his memory of locking, but he doubts that the police will take his baseless confidence seriously. Despite the open window, there's no visible havoc or even a single footprint left anywhere. Each of his valuables seems to be in place as well. He's not that well off and doesn't own much, so it's hard to think that anything has been stolen without him noticing. And what's more, his apartment is on the 4th floor. Why would anybody climb up the sheer wall to rob his room? It would be much easier to break in through the balcony or the front door. Am I thinking too much? He asks himself. There really are things beyond imagination out there. Maybe the lock got undone by the shaking of an earthquake or a hard gust of wind that hit the window. That sounds more realistic than the thought that someone would bother to scale the wall only to steal nothing. This is just like the times when you get scared by the normal sounds of the house after seeing a horror movie. He's particularly scared about the window considering his obsession with locks, and he's still upset from hearing about the dreadful injury his cousin suffered. He already finished checking out the toilet, the bathroom, the balcony, the closet, anywhere someone might be hiding. Nobody else is in the... Suddenly something catches his eye. He still hasn't checked under his bed. In a horror story, that's where the killer would hide. Talking to himself to calm his nerves, he crouches down with his cell phone light on and then... Oh no. Oh, I don't want to look. Phew. There's nothing under the bed but silent darkness. Oh, okay. He loves mocking himself for his cowardice. He's gonna get back up, and there's going to be something either behind him or looking in from the window again. And I do not want it. I do not want that to happen. Just one glance is enough to tell that the space is too narrow for a person to fit in. But then again, now that he's nowhere else to look into, he doesn't need to care about the unlocked window, even if it was done by a human. Some cretin might have been here hours ago, but he's just proved to himself that nobody else is around now. With that peace of mind, he decides he gives in to the physical comfort of the bed. Oh no, oh, ah! I knew it! Achievement
unlock terror in the night. Okay. At least there was no spooky sound effect coming with it. Was a former McDonald's mascot? Yo! They got the McDonald's mascot to work with this. Nice. I like how the game is made in a way though. If you manage to go through those reasonings, and they're gonna become harder with the later on cases, I'm assuming, that you get more scenes. They're like, hey, you can get through the main story by just clicking on the main things, but you can see a bunch of side content that gives you just a little more information and stuff like this. It's really cool. Yeah? Okay, got it. I know my mother and the two kids are going out today. She sounds like they're going to eat out as well. Hamburger! Steak prepared from ground meat, chopped onions, breadcrumbs, eggs, and some seasonings. The food is one of the most fabulous partners with white rice. This is nothing more than the writer's personal view. There was actually... when I played Persona 5 for the first time, back when it came out, there was an English guide out there already. But that one was translated from the Japanese version of the game. So it also still said Hamburg steak in the guide. But they gave it a different translation in the official translation of Persona 5. And I just sat there for a while thinking, yeah, I think this is the food the person in the guide means. This is just a translation issue. And then sometime later on, when I was finished with the game already, I went back in the guide and I saw that the person who wrote the guide went through it, updating stuff to like the official translation. So I didn't say Hamburg anymore. I'm like, damn. Because when I read hamburger, what I imagine is something with like a patty in a bun. But a Hamburg steak is without a bun. You're already that excited this early in the morning. Are you guys getting Hamburg steak for lunch? Oh. Hamburg! Mood. Alright, take it easy, little bundle of energy. When I hear Hamburg, I think of the German city. That's also fair. That's also fair. I went to Hamburg to watch the... what was it? The Lion King musical, actually. That was nice. Some years ago. That sounds super good, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wish I could, but I've got tons of things to do. I want to hear what Nanashi has to say about the doll's picture, and I need to check in with Pops on the status of the investigation. Yeah. It's really good. The Lion King musical is really good. I really would love to see the Frozen musical as well. I think it's coming to Germany. My mom said something along those lines. But I haven't been able to check if that's the same Frozen musical that, you know, America had. Like the same songs and everything. Or who's performing it. Because I would love to see that one. Let me know how the food is. If you like it, I'll come with you next time. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I'm a big musical fan. I also saw Grease as a musical. I saw a musical rendition of the Titanic once, which was interesting as well. I mean, Hades I've never seen, but I've listened to all of the songs and stuff. But yeah, I like musicals. How much trust do you place in Hamburg steaks? I'm pretty sure the cook at something yummy would make the worst Hamburg steak yet. If you performed in a musical, then it'd be a musical. Lord of the Dance on Wednesday. Nice! I hope you have fun with that. What the heck is with your love for Hamburg steak? If you could, that would be a divine food. I remember June being very excited to have Hamburg steak for dinner before, but never knew he was such a passionate devotee of it.
Oh, thank you for the every time in the pet.
私とハンバーグどっちが好き？
Oh.
え？
What are you asking all of a sudden, my sister?
いや、
No, don't say anything wrong now.
それは？あのさ、それはもちろんシズクバーグだよ。
June, you've got them mixed up. I can see the conflict leaking out of your mind. You just turned my sister into someone like one of the world's most famous movie directors.
私も一生ハンバーグ食べない。
No! Shizuku, you're feeling jealous of the wrong thing. What's the point of pitting yourself against food?
でもお兄ちゃん、あと10年経ったらある意味お互いに食べ物になるって言われたよ。うん、言われたな。
Who told you that?
だからジュン君があんまりハンバーグが好きだと困るかなって困るかな
No. Is it Rin who said that to you?
とかっこいいお姉ちゃんお互いを食べちゃう時があるって言ってたよな
Okay, I really need to have a talk with them. I'm wanting them so hard. Oh no. I went home. I didn't get to see the dude today. I couldn't give him the DVD. I have nothing aside from being obsessed with the main character as my personality. I wasn't able to see Amakawa at school yesterday, but I did see him in my dream last night. Going by the theory that you dream to organize your memories and emotions, it happens a lot because my every thought revolves around him. Every night for the last 3 years has ended in one of two ways, dreaming of him or having a dreamless sleep. You are crazy. Girl, you are crazy. Amakawa is the only one that can disturb and ease my mind both in reality and dreams. And thanks to the dream, last night's agitation is now gone and I'm having a fairly calm morning. I've had similar experiences before. What happened yesterday was a little more shocking, that's all. I really want to keep our relationship going and to be of much more help to him than ever before, so I can't let myself drag this anxiety with me any longer. I need to go about my business as usual during this vacation. I'm practically certain that he had to skip school yesterday because of that thing. It worries me, but there's almost nothing I can do for him at the moment. At the very least, I'll do my best to cheer him up even a little when I see him at school again. Luckily, I'm going to be busy starting this afternoon. It's next to impossible for me to stop thinking about him, but if I focus on the stuff at hand, time will probably go by quickly enough. And if I treat whatever I do from now on as a step toward getting to spend time with him, it should be easy to stay motivated. Alright then, let's start this morning off with some household chores and schoolwork. She has a Rubik's Cube in her room. I'm not good at Rubik's Cubes. Sadly, I never understood how to clear them. Like to get them back the way they come when you buy them. It's very fascinating to see people like go at them at like world record speed. I'm like, wow! How? I never understood it. That's close. You added an extra word. How do you end up with that? It's not a seasoning and it doesn't even start with sheet. The hardest part is getting my fingernail on the stickers the right way. It's Shio, salt. How can you not learn just a single word? So, you have any updates on the investigation? Oh. He takes 2 pieces of paper out of a sleeve case and holds them out toward me. The list was only 1 sheet yesterday. It makes it seem heavier than its actual weight. Wow, so many missing people. Thanks a lot. The contents are basically identical to the list of owners from yesterday. Although there's still several blank sections left, the biggest difference is obvious. The list has grown in length. The doll must have been drifting around from one person to another for a longer period of time than the investigators initially thought. The list is now 1.5 sheets long. 13 people. Damn, that is a lot of people. My apologies. Still, it's quite a bit. To be honest, I expected fewer. How can I not be shocked that there are more than 10 victims and they've all gone missing? This doll could be much older than we speculated. The oldest owner is from 20 years ago. Wait, we don't have a specific year, I think, but I'm just going to assume this game takes place in 2014 because that's when it came out. I don't think they've said anything that would disregard it being 2014. You think this is going to get untraceable soon? Personally, I'm impressed that they already collected this amount of intel. How did they do that when all the old owners were missing? Most of them sound okay, but why the delivery man? Oh, and delivering something like that doll would probably have been like in a special case, be very careful with this package, blah blah blah, so they would remember it? I see, you mean they checked on delivery records? Haha. I'm fine, you don't need to let it bother you. I had no idea how they were making that list with all the owners missing, but now I've learned about the sources of the data.
そういえば、ちょっと気になる話があるんだが、情報部が調査した何か所かで、以前同じようなことを聞いた人間がいたと言われたらしい。
Does it mean there's someone else following the doll like us?
まあ、個人的に家族が行方不明になった理由を探しているって感じだろうがな。
I can't imagine that someone can swallow the fact that they lost one of their family.
だがな、結局このリストだけが昨日から今日にかけての唯一の収穫なんだ。
So there's nothing new about the knick-knack shop case?
贅沢を言えば、家出した人形の行方についての進展は欲しかったがな。
Me too. Grabbing hold of the doll would be a big help. We could find out whether the doll has powers or, as Nanashi suggested, a human being is behind it. That would decide the course of the investigation, and the image of my opponent would be clearer, if only a little. Speaking of Nanashi, Pops, did Nanashi contact you?
おう、昨晩連絡があったぜ。あの野郎、人形についての資料が欲しいとだけ言ってすぐに電話を切りやがったけどな。俺の店は通販でも保険屋でもないって話だぜ。まったくよ、出前かと思って期待したぜ。あの野郎。
You sound like you didn't get him what he wanted.
ナナシ様の頼みだぜ。私とに決まってるじゃねえか。
The middle-aged man gave a wry smile, indicating that he must owe Nanashi quite a bit.
でもよ、あれはどういうことなんだ。資料が欲しいだなんて。まるで事件の調査に関わろうとしてるみたいじゃねえか。
He promised me he would help us identify the doll, that's all.
どっちにしろ、あいつが人間社会の事件に関わるって、一体どんな取引したのよ。
Isn't he also a human being, though?
魂か。
He says, ah, not yet. No, he seems to be giving us support free of charge for this case.
いやいや、ナナシがただって。
Don't worry, he says that it will benefit him too. If the doll is a material variant, that's pretty rare, which is why he wants to look into it.
ああ、そういう感じで食いついたのな。あいつがただ働きなんで、ジャベリンでも降るのかと思って心配したぜ。 で、あいつは何か言ってたか？
He says the doll could be a material variant, which is no surprise, but it might be a human that's behind all this.
つまり、俺たちの同類が裏で関わっているかもしれねえと。
He also says there's a possibility that the doll itself is special and the human could be just anyone.
なるほど。物か人。
Maybe I'm going to fight
ど
both
ちらに
of
しろ
them.
ジュニアには
There's
戦って
actually
もらうことになるかも。
more than just a doll involved. Simple and clean. I prefer it that way.
それで、ここからジュニアはどう動く？
Aren't you going to suggest I get some rest like you did yesterday?
この増えてきたリストを見せた時点で、ジュニアにそれを求めるのは諦めてるよ。
I'm going to the city center to see Nanashi and Azuma.
あのデカは切れるからな。面白そうな話が聞けたら連絡してくれや。
Pops thinks the word of Azuma's performance as a cop based on his past accomplishments regarding variants. What? A slang word for police officer. The term is used quite often not just in fiction works, but by the police themselves in reality. There is, by the way, no such rank or class as a cop. Thanks, that was definitely needed. Okay, I would not have known what the fuck cop is supposed to be. I will. I'm also considering visiting the knick-knack shop after seeing them. What do you think?
お前以外なら答えはノーだが。あの店の従業員の中には事件につながりそうな人間も俺たちの同類にもいないことは調査済みだしな。
Okay. Appreciate it. I'll be careful not to disturb the other investigators. There might be some undiscovered evidence or clues still left there. Or the culprit might return to the crime scene. Guess it's about time to leave.
ああ、そういえばちょうどおやつの
No,
時間じゃない
no,
か。
no.
ジュニアもお腹が空いているんじゃないか
No,
な。
I'm not.
ですよね。
ですよね。ですよね。Give me. ですよね。I find Nanashi gazing at a piece of paper after entering through the door. Hi. What a surprise. It's unusual for him not to greet you to take the initiative in a negotiation.
そろそろいらっしゃると思ってましたよ。
Pops told me he got you the files on the door.
ええ、写真を含め一通り拝見しました。
So how did it go? Do you have anything new to share?
昨日の推測が大きく外れてないことが確認できたって感じですかね。この人形であれば物理である可能性は低くないかと。
You mean she's old enough to be one?
ええ、紙は人毛ですし、作りや材料から見ても大正から昭和初期のものでしょう。種類としては一般的な日本人形として想像される市松
Okay, hold on. I would like to know what the fuck that is supposed to mean. Ichimatsu doll, a doll made from wood or lumps of wood chips. The head and the body and the four limbs are made separately and the limbs are somewhat movable. Children used to enjoy playing dress up with them. Living dolls, a finely crafted human-like doll that had been very popular between the end of the Edo era and the beginning of the Showa era. They were more used for exhibition purposes during entertainment performances rather than as odd objects, and most of them were discarded as people were getting tired of performances of that sort. For that reason, only few exist today, despite the past popularity and volume of production. Okay. Living dolls?
もちろん本当に生きているわけじゃなくて、生きている人間に限りなく近く作ろうっていう人形のジャンルです。身につけている友禅の着物も多少傷んではいますが、相当にいいものだと思われます。大切にされたり、特別な思い入れがあったとしても不思議じゃありません。
Which means she had a chance to turn into a material variant.
ですです。
Nanashi's staring at the picture with a delighted look on his face. I can infer that the doll must be fairly rare.
ただ、見て、
I think that either ear has 8 ears. They have different ears. Is there some problem with the doll?
いやね、物理かどうかを抜きにしても、なんだかこの人形は妙なんです。
Are you saying that as a disobeyer?
いえ、 僕の力は実物を目の前にしないと発揮することはできないので、
Oh, I wonder what kind of powers he has.
一般的な人形の知識と照らし合わせた時の問題です。
Is it something even I can understand?
はい。一言で言えば人形のサイズについてです。
How does that matter?
いえ、なんだか興味をそそるなーって話です。
Okay. If this weren't him, I would probably blame him for being thoughtless. There have been a large number of injured or missing victims around the doll. I cannot even imagine how tormented and saddened the victims and the people close to them must be feeling. But as a disobeyer myself, I can understand his enthusiasm that derives from our own uncontrollable emotions, even though the trigger is different.
それでユウさんに一つ提案なのですが、今回の件、互いに協力をしませんか？
Help each other. Do you want to get more involved in this?
個人的に腰を据えて、この子のことを調べたくなったんです。彼女がどこで生まれ、どうしてこんな事件に巻き込まれているのかを。
It might be hard to figure that out. Pop said they may not be able to trace her history back any further.
僕は僕なりの角度で調べますので心配いりませんよ。それでですね、そちらの方でも何か情報を手に入れたら教えていただければなぁと。
You want information from me?
はい。もちろんこちらからも情報は伝えます
Would
し、
it be interesting
力
if
に
you
な
had
れるこ
noticed
とがあれ
different
ば
years
協
in the
力します。
past? It would, yeah. Okay, I'll ask Pops to provide you with our info as well.
ありがとうございます。もちろん僕が知りたいのは事件についてではなく人形についての情報だけですからね。
Yeah, that's fair.
人間のドロドロとかはまっぴらごめんです。
Yeah, I know. Talk about lucky. That's perfect for me since I've been thinking about taking it upon myself to investigate the shop manager, the only surviving doll owner and his surroundings. There won't be any problems as long as Nanashi and the intelligence department are at it.
それにしても楽しくなってきました。
A glance at his face is enough for me to tell that a non-expert like me will have no room on his stage. He's as excited as a kid who's just found a treasure map. Nice. Says the newest pointy ears. Even in this bustling lunchtime crowded restaurant, the long-haired man sticks out like a sore thumb. Sitting across from him, his companion is sporting an outfit striking enough to rival his
つま
invent.
り舞ちゃんも相手の素性を知らない。
そうっす。
The young man admits amiably, okay, and takes another spoonful of the rice porridge that you wouldn't think someone in clothes such as his would order.
副島さんを紹介してきたやつ。
Show me the clothes! I want to know! One puzzling thing about this young man is that he's actually very health conscious, despite having a face full of piercings, including his ears, lips, nose, and cheeks.
友達の知り合いだ
And
と
cheese! Show me this guy right now! Show me!
まずかったっすよね。
Mada, usually addressed as Mae by Susanari, is the young man Susanari and Kuri have entrusted with managing their online accessory shop. Contrary to his wild looks, he's a homebody who excels in information management. He's very cautious to others. The gap between his appearance and personality is so huge that you could talk about it forever. Even though he distinguishes himself that way, he gets his work done with great subtlety and offers Susanari and Kuri a lot of support, understanding their positions. All in all, he's a likable
い
fellow.
や、俺も似たようなもんだし。
Mada is the other reason Susanari agreed to meet up with that Sojima guy, in addition to the pleading of his beloved. The man will never be able to use a metal detector. You know what I hate? When you have piercings and you have to go through one of the, like at an airport through the detectors, and you get someone who I don't know, does not like piercings, doesn't understand why you would do it, and they look at you all funny and like, why would you do that to your body? And I'm like, because I like it. Let me go through now. Thanks. Thread feature instead, this chat is still stupid. It doesn't work half the time, right?
マジですいません。
いや、今となっては重要な切り口になるかもしれない相手だし、逆に感謝してもいいくらいだよ。
Chances are pretty good that he's a part of a variant-related incident that happened or is happening around here. The encounter with Sojima might prove to be a considerable advantage in the future. Maeda, however, takes his employer's genuine opinion as words of comfort, hatching up with a strong sense of
って
regret.
ことはやっぱなんだか巻き込んじゃったみたいっすね。リンさんを危険な目に遭わせたらクリさんに申し訳が立たないっす。
巻き込まれたも何も、俺とマロンちゃんはこっちが本職だって。
Seeing a 180cm tall man cringing like this must be quite a peculiar
まあ
sight.
俺も今回の話はあんまやる気ないんだけどさ。
もちろんっすよ。
He eagerly nods in consent, leaning over towards Tsunade as though about to charge into him. The situation and their garments make them look just like a bull and a matador.
オッケー、マエちゃん、ちょっと落ち着こう。
すいません。ちょっとでも挽回しようと
I
思
have
っ
a
て。
feeling this Mad person is a little bit like, what was his name? In Somnium Files, in second Somnium Files, the big dude who was so obsessed with oh my god, I just played the game. It's not been that long since we finished the game, and I forgot everyone's names. But like the big guy who didn't have a job, the key, the break-in person,
今更かもしれないけどさ、
just with more piercings.
そもそもどういう経緯であの男と知り合ったのかを順を追って教えてよ。
Tsunade only met Sojima because he had been asked to. He was too unmotivated to collect any useful information about the poker-faced man whatsoever.
最初は俺のダチが副島さんに相談を受けたのがきっか
What
け
if
だと
two
思いま
people
す。
join, it gets confusing. It was around a week ago. Maeda was told by one of his friends that he'd heard a scary story from Sojima at a bar, which both of them frequented.
なんでもマンションにまつわる怪談話みたいなのを聞かされたらしくて、そのダチは都市伝説とか心霊現象の類の話をいちいち鵜呑みにするタイプなんですけど、その変な話を信じ込んじゃって。
He happens to live alone in a similar apartment and later became convinced that he too heard a strange noise or felt someone watching him making a big fuss about it. Worrying about his intensely frightened friend, the kind young man tried to find a solution to cheer him up.
その以前リンさんが
I
教え
could
て
never
くれ
remember
た
the
こと
one
を話しま
investigator
した。
dude's name. Now that was I just forgot. Kagami. Funnily enough, Kagami's name is not someone I would ever forget.
そういう話の9割以上は思い
Kazura?
込みで
No, Kagami.
別の現実的
His
な
name
理
was
由があ
Kagami.
るんだって。もし本当にそっち側の問
You
題があ
remember
るん
it
だ
too.
としても、怖がって冷静さを失った方がまずいって話して聞かせました。
Don't mind in case I wouldn't forget it because whenever I hear the name Kagami, I have to think of Kuroko no Basket, which is now available on German Netflix. Back when I went to Japan in 2000 and... What year did I go? 18. Back when I went to Japan in 2018, Netflix was like, hey, you're in Japan now, here's our Japanese selection. Kuroko no Basket was on there, but it was not on German Netflix. And now I got an email from German Netflix. I was like, hey, we added a show you might enjoy. I'm like, yeah, I've seen all of it, and I own the entire manga, and I've read it several times. Thank you.
ナイスな対応だな。
で、話の流れで軽い気持ちで相談に乗ってくれるように頼んでみようかって、もし何かあっても対応してくれる人がいるって。
で、
So helpful, yeah.
頼れる人がいるんだって分かっただけ
I
で。
mean, sometimes the mails with like, hey, we added something you might enjoy are actually helpful, but lots of times they're not. Maeda's response didn't seem to be wrong because his friend was eventually able to regain his composure, but things took a turn for the worse after that. Since his anxiety had been lifted, he felt so good that he wanted to console Sojima in turn by relaying what he'd heard about the expert when they met each other at the bar
普
again.
通ならそんなのインチキだった。信じたとしてもできればお願いしたいとかそのくらいの感じっすよね。
ところがそうじゃなかった。
うっす。なんかそのダチが驚くほどに話に食いついてきたらしく、いつどこでその専門家に会えるんだって。
Having witnessed Sojima's desperation, Maeda's friend and other bar regulars visited Maeda to call on him for
最初は
support.
俺が窓口でリンさんにアドバイスでももらえればとでも。
どうしても俺に会いたい
うっす。ぜひ本人と直接会って相談したいと。
と。珍しくマエちゃんがおせおせで頼んでくると思ったらそんなことか。
He was trying to support his friend who was worried about Sojima. Natural enough for this fair and square
だもん
guy.
で俺自身も詳しく相手のことを知ってるわけじゃなかったんです。マジですみません。
Once again, the big man wraps himself up in a ball of guilt, bending down his head. On the other hand, Susanari doesn't have the slightest intention of blaming him. No fault can be found in any of his judgments and actions. The only problem is the very man who needs the help, which is something that Maeda couldn't have known. Having been filled in by Maeda, Susanari is still left with some mysteries. For one, why didn't Sojima even try to beg Susanari, the expert, for support when he was turned down, despite the fact that he had desperately thrown himself onto Maeda's friend? For another, Sojima had already seen through what was watching him when he commented that it was different from urban legends or spiritual phenomena, which probably means that he had known what kind of expert Susanari was, and that was the reason for his interest. In the first place, Susanari simply cannot imagine that doll-like man being frightened by
せ
anything.
めてもと思いまして、今朝リンさんから副島さんのことで話があるって連絡を受けた後、ちょっと調べときました。
相変わらず頼りになるね。
Flexibility can be a strong suit in various cases. This young man does
そう
possess
して
it.
調べてみると、ちょっと奇妙なことが分かり、副島さんについて名前以上のことを知ってる人間が一人もいないんです。
Okay, that is weird. Regulars at a bar, they may chat about random stuff, but it's mostly just superficial talk. Even so, it wouldn't be surprising to blurt out some personal
意図的に
information.
隠している。
勤め先を聞いたリンさんが一番あの人の事情に詳しいくらいですね。
こうなるとそれも本当かどうか怪しいか。
俺に話を持ち込んだダチも一緒に調べてみるそうです。
Hey.
人のいいやつなんで、副島さんと連絡取れないことを単純に心配してるみたいですね。
Even though Sojima may just be using him, he's worried about Sojima purely out of compassion. A nice guy's friend is also a
何
nice
か
guy.
分かったらどんどん連絡します。
頼むよ。
Right as the topic wraps up, Maeda drops his last spoonful of rice porridge, seeming to have remembered something just
ところ
now.
でリンさん、予定してたウェブリニューアルの打ち合わせは一応デザインラフとか持ってきてますけど。
Even at a time like this, he never forgets what he's supposed to do, which only reinforces Susanari's
こっ
trust
ち
in
を
him.
さっさと片付けちゃうからしばらくキャンセルで。その分時間が空いた時にまとめてやろう。
わかりました。
Maeda has earned considerable credibility with Susanari and Cody for his sense of good and delicate work. Susanari knows Maeda just wanted him to have a quick look at his designs and give a go-ahead just as always, but considering how much effort he might have put into his work, Susanari cannot allow himself to take it half-heartedly. Rescheduling for a later date will work out best for both of them. With that done, Susanari is going to need to fully focus on the Sojima case. Something crosses his mind as he wonders about his next move.
そうそう。舞ちゃんに一つだけアドバイスを。
So that this nice fellow won't get caught up in unreasonable misfortune.
しばらくの間、どこかで和服を着た人形を見かけたら
Lest you lose an
近寄
arm
らない
or
ことをお
worse.
すすめするよ。
Café Ruhe? Café Ruhe? Who named? Who the fuck is coming up with these names? A popular cafe frequented by nearby office workers for breaks. The manager proclaims the cafe to be Germanish, but they are highly proud of their matcha parfait. Since the cafe is in a business district, it gets a few students visiting. This is also why it's Yu's favorite. Ruhe is actually the German word for quiet, like peace and quiet, that kind of thing. This elegant cafe is located at the center of a street where there are a number of eateries aimed at white-collar workers from a nearby office complex. Café Schnauze! Better be quiet in there. Since the manager of the cafe has a connection to our world, and I don't need to be worried about my surroundings here, this is my usual spot to visit when I'm downtown. The cafe is normally crowded at this hour, but today there are only about 5 groups of customers, including myself. It's probably quiet because of Golden Week. The scarcity of customers makes me feel much more comfortable in the shop than usual. On my table I have wheat and rye bread, roasted chicken sandwiches, and a cup of cafe latte. Wait, do they have a picture for the sandwich? They do! Food made by placing vegetables or meat between slices of bread. Thinly sliced white bread is most commonly used in Japan, but any type of bread can be used for it. The word sandwich comes from a person's name. As a similar food, there's also an open sandwich consisting of a single slice of bread and some other food items on top. Oh. Yeah, actually, as a German, getting good bread that is not just plain old white bread in Japan was a pain. No pun intended for any French speakers, but Yeah, I like white bread enough, but sometimes you do need something different. I would usually pick up a glass of fresh juice, but I really need some caffeine today to get things done. I was going to text her yesterday evening, but I ended up postponing it until now. I rewrote it over and over, but I finally come up with something I think I can send. I used everything I had to make it sound apologetic enough, but not cold-hearted and gloomy. In fact, I worked on it so much that I can't tell what is right and what is wrong anymore. But I can't ask June and Shizuku for advice on something like this, and the grown-ups around me have their unique ways to live with this sort of stuff. That's why I decided to struggle through it on my own and took so long to get this far. I'm sure Ogawa is generous enough to laugh off almost all my failures, but that is exactly why I don't want to let just a single message feel obnoxious to her. On top of that, I've never texted anyone of the opposite sex other than my family and co-workers. How can I possibly do that without feeling nervous? Oh my god, okay. Long story short, I find my wish so funny that I could almost laugh over it. I want to apologize to her, not only out of moral obligation or politeness, but also to make up for the fact that I wasn't able to see her yesterday. I want to convey my thoughts and I wanted to respond in turn, just like we've been doing at school. I correctly judged my relationship with her. Her reply should be a happy one. If I correctly judge my relationship with her. But then again, my work keeps teaching me that there's nothing absolute about human emotions, so... No, I need to stop thinking. I've put this off long enough. Alright. I take a sip of my lukewarm cafe latte as though praying for success. Drinking the sweet and bitter liquid with my anxiety, I press the send button with my left thumb. Good God. Way to overthink one singular message. I'm sorry for calling you over here on such short notice.
Yeah, 少年から連絡が来なくてもこちらから連絡していたよ。
Did something happen?
少年から電話が来るちょっと前にある事件でそちらと協力することが決定した。
In case involving a doll, I'm guessing.
重傷者1名と10を超える人間が行方不明。やっぱり少年も関わってたか。
Yep. I'm probably going to be on the front line.
少年が直接出るってことは簡単な相手じゃないってことか。はあ、事情を知らない署員からは忙しい中一抜きしやがってと白い目で見られてるっていうのに。
As I understand it, when officers in the police station, Azuma included, collaborate with us, they'll tell other officers that they're examining a special confidential case. It's likely that us on a dead run consider him to be assigned to some other soft job.
事情を知ってる人間には必要以上に期待されているしな。
Why is that?
異業絡みだとは分かっていても内容までは知らないからな。例の犯罪率増加についての捜査を少年たちと協力して開始したんだと考えてるんだろう。
This is just my guess, but that might not have anything to do with this.
だろうな。そもそもことが起こっている期間が違いすぎる。
3 months ago, 3 months against 20 years. The difference is obvious. One of them falls into the crime category as a police cover, and no details have been discovered yet regarding the doll case. Did you check out the files?
一通りはこの数時間で劇的に状況が進んでいない限りはある程度は把握できているはずだ。
I guess I'm practically the same then. My last update was just this morning.
こちらはまだ捜査もまともに始まっていないから届いた資料以上のことは何も知らないがな。
I doubt to know more than you do, though.
申し訳ないがいろいろと質問させてもらってもいいか。
Sure, I'll answer whatever I can.
そうか。警察に入ってる情報と大差はないって感じだな。
Is there anything you found out while going through the files?
気づいたというよりも気になった点ならある。
What is it?
歴代の人形所有者のリスト。全員が行方不明になっているやつだ。少年も当然目を通してるよな。
Yes.
あのリストを見て異常だとは思わなかったか。
Well, yeah, considering that number of missing people.
いや、そういう意味じゃなくてアルパカをアルプス山脈で見かけたぐらいの不自然さだろう。
Duh. I know little about alpacas, so the metaphor doesn't do much for me.
希望があれば1時間ほどアルパカについて講義をするが。
I like alpacas enough, but please don't. I'll pass. So, what is it that's bothering you? Azuma scratches his head in irritation.
物っていうのはその扱い方は人それぞれ違うだろう。すぐに捨てる人、一度手に入れたものは永遠と取っておく人、捨てるのは忍びないと寄付や買い取りでしか手放さない人。だけどあのリストの場合はどうだ。
Having passed my eyes over it many times since yesterday, I can recall it without effort. According to it, there have been no intervals between one owner and the next. Every owner gave or sold the doll to the next one directly.
ああ、 リストに載っている限りでは全員がな。
Oh.
なぜ行方不明になった後に家族が処分したり物置に残されたまま放置されていたケースが一件もないのか。
That's a shiver runs through my whole body. Definitely no exceptions. That's too unnatural. I've got one really bad hunch.
人形をバトンに例えると見事なまでに全員が次の走者にバトンを渡した後で行方不明。
Oh, that is weird. So basically what you're saying is the owners had some kind of reason why they had to give the doll to someone else?
その理由とやらが何かはさっぱり見当もつかないがな。
Azuma very often astonishes me this way. His speculations are shrewd, and what impresses me more is how he's arrived at that point by only giving the files a once over.
ところで少年もこの件を話し合うのに俺に連絡をしたんだよな。
Yes, of course.
電話で頼みたいことがあると言っていたが。
That's right. His speculation on the list is so impressive that I almost forgot about it, but I was the one who asked him to meet. I called you out here because I wanted to learn more about the shop owner. I already gave the material variant specialist working on it all. What? What? I'm sorry, what? How do I open the lock in this game? I have, not gave. Jesus Christ, yeah, that makes more sense. I said, what? And as for the list, the intelligence department's got it covered, so I thought that this should be my focus going forward.
ああ、それについては必要のない相談だったかもな。俺もその切り口で調査するつもりだった。
I thought you were going to work on the missing. That wouldn't be too hard to do if you used the police intelligence network. It is Azuma himself that saw through and pointed out the contrarians of the list, so he should be the one to examine it himself.
まあ、そちらは他の人間が手掛けるさ。俺個人としては行方不明の人間たちよりも入院中の雑貨屋の方に興味があるんだ。
You're interested in the victim?
被害者ね。
A meaningful smile creeps on his face. Eh? He sounds like he's indicating that the shop owner could be more than a victim.
事件の概要を見たとき、一点だけ強烈に引っかかる部分がある。大したことのない理由も考えられるし、ただ俺が気にしすぎているだけかもしれないが、多分そこには何かしらの意味がある。
And what is it?
どうしてバックヤードに人形が置かれていたのかだよ。
He lets words and cigar smoke float in the air with a depressed expression on his face. Oh, and now there's... okay. You know, I have to sadly admit that the game does not make her very likable for me, because every time we get some information on anything Yu is working on, it scoots over to her and she will have like 10 lines, and all of them are going to be about like, I'm so obsessed with this guy, and nothing more. I've been in Cloud 9 for more than an hour. Also, my heart has been beating as hard as if I had just run a marathon. However, it is not even 1 millimeter of suffering, just warmth and a small tinge of embarrassment. The trigger was one text message. My eyes are still glued to the small screen displaying those treasured words. The sides of my mouth involuntarily curl upward if I don't focus on keeping a straight face. If I fix it back, embarrassed, as if Amakaba was looking at me through the screen. I did hundreds of billions of simulations for the day he would text me, but look how easily I was done in. I was just like this only 3 days ago because of his parting words. But I guess no matter how many simulations I do, I won't ever be able to keep my composure. It's Amakaba I'm talking about here after all. The text may look like it just conveys his apology for the missed DVD and that he's looking forward to seeing me at school after the break. But in his brevity, it really does convey his concern. His concern for me, so that I can make out how he feels and not get depressed. Plus, I can tell that he put a lot of time into writing it in a way that makes it easier for me to reply. He uses time to think about me, even though he's probably still busy with that matter that he had to skip school for. The thought is way more than enough to make me tremble and want to scream with excitement. Of course, I'm keeping this text safe for the rest of my life, but actually that's not necessary. Because I've already burned every letter into my brain, along with my other precious memories of him. But I know I need to exercise self-control all the more at a time like this. It's not acceptable to let myself get too caught up in this excitement. My first and foremost aim is to become his life partner, so I need to deal with the stuff right at hand now. I'm going to use all I have to finish up my afternoon plans. I'm sure though that I'm going to be way more motivated than ever during my training in the dojo. Okay, it was exactly 20 text boxes. I counted. It was 20 text boxes. The knick-knack shop whose manager was assaulted the other day. They chiefly sell Western and antique furniture. Jesus Christ! Twice as much as usual. Whoa, what's going on here? Why is
picture in the bag so bright. The first thing that I notice is a sense of wrongness. It's not caused by any signs of variant, but by the huge gap between my image of this knick-knack shop based on my intel and what they actually have in here. They do have small items in the corner, but most of the products they sell here are large interior goods and furniture. I would say this place is more of an antique furniture shop. Nanashiro covers a selection of merchandise far more appropriate to be called a knick-knack shop. I'm surprised that they opened in the first place, but according to Pop's footnote, keeping the shop open was something the victim strongly wished for. Since he's single and has no side business, the shop is his only source of income. There's only one person in here who must be a clerk. I don't know if that's normal or if rumors of the incident have scared people away. Either way, having nobody else here is preferable for me. Excuse me.
Hi.
I have questions about the burglary where the owner got attacked. I'm not too close to him, but he was very nice to me and I visited the shop before. He might not remember me anymore, but still. I had the female clerk with a series of lines that I prepared beforehand. I wish I could say more, but I've determined that this is the best way to disguise myself without disturbing the intelligence department and the police. And I assume this guy should be effective enough to get her to speak to me about the case. When you experience something extraordinary, you'll be inclined to share it with someone else. Witnessing an accident, encountering a police case, or seeing a familiar person come to harm, the more outlandish it is, the more badly you want to share it. In fact, you can become careless enough to let things slip to an obviously underage kid, things that you'd normally never tell a stranger.
あ、そうなんですね。店長の知り合いなんだ。
Yeah, for sure! Nothing strange about it. I heard he was hospitalized and I happened to be passing by, so I thought I'd check in.
まだ入院中で。ほんと店長も運がないよね。
Because I'm younger than her and not the customer, she switches to casual talk. Luckily for me, she seems to be fairly outgoing. I heard he got injured pretty badly.
私は直接は見てないけど、会いに行った人の話だとだいぶひどかったって。
I'm really concerned that the robber hasn't been arrested yet.
警察の人は強盗が同じ場所に入ることはないって言ったけど、また店に来るんじゃないかって本当に怖くて。
They took something, right? I heard it was a doll.
そうそう。もっと高価で運びやすいものもあったのに、なんでだろうねって他の店員とも話してたんだけど。
Was it the work of some famous artist?
どうかな。もしそうなら、あの店長だったらもっと早く商品として売ってるんじゃないかな。
What do you mean?
前に接客されたことがあるなら心当たりがあるかもしれないけどあの人
Stingy?
ちょっとお金にうるさいっていうか
Oh my gosh, she's still talking. Sorry. Hesitating to express it herself, she flashes me an awkward smile in place of an answer. That's worth noting since I've got little on his character. Really? I didn't have that impression. Well, I've never met him, so I don't have any impression at all.
今のは店長には内緒で
Sure, no problem.
もしも価値のある人形だったら店長は適当にバックヤードに置いておかないかなって。あの人形1年近くバックヤードに置きっぱなしだったんだよ。
Maybe he didn't know the value of the doll, but the robber did.
うちの店長商品の値付けには厳しかったからあの人形についてもきちんと調べてそうだけど。でもそっか店長も最近になって価値を知ったとすると。
Did you remember something?
事件があった日の朝確か開店の準備をしている時にちょっとだけ気になることが。
She begins to explain slowly and cautiously, seemingly feeling less confident on her memory of the day.
なんでこの人形がここにあるんだって店長がすごく驚いてたんだ。お前何か知ってるかってしつこく聞かれたから印象に残ってる。
Sounds like he believed the doll should have been somewhere else.
だよね。あの時は整理して別の位置に置いた人形を店員の誰かが勝手に元の場所に戻したことに怒ってるのかなって。でも店長は人形の価値に気がついて誰かに売ってたのかも。
He was surprised because he saw the doll that he'd already sold.
もしそうならあの時のこともしっくりくるかなって。あれなんでくらいの感じじゃなくてかなり本気で焦ってた感じだったから。
You mean he seemed like he couldn't believe that the doll was there?
今思い返せばそれくらいの強い口調だった気が。
He couldn't believe the doll was back there, huh?
どういうことか聞いても答えてくれなかったことにもお金のトラブルで店に人形が戻ってきたのなら店長なら他人に話そうとしないと思うから。
If this woman's theory is correct, the doll got taken outside the shop and was carried back there by someone.
And considering that the owner seemed unaware of it, someone must have done both in secret. This now sounds more freaky than a little trouble. Nonetheless, it could be an important clue, although I don't think I can make it any clearer here now. I'm going to report this to Pops later.
でもこれ人形が関係したトラブルってことになるなら事件と関係ないと思って気にもしてなかったけどこの話って警察にもした方がいいのかな
Maybe you should.
だよねそっか警察の人が来たら話してみる
The bell at the door informs us of the arrival of a customer. I guess it's about time to make my exit. Thank you for your time. She may become suspicious if I keep talking to her. Also, since I got more info than I expected, I don't need to probe any
一
further.
人でいるとちょっと怖かったから助かったかも
If anything happens, you should call the police immediately.
まるで警察の人みたいなことを言うんだね
We could be the same in a sense. Anyway, thanks again. I finished up everything I can do today. After making a phone call to Pops, I'll go back to my normal high schooler self. I kind of can't wait to see if she replied to me yet. Actually, I totally cannot wait.
赤はこんなところで何してんの
Huh? As I'm wrapped in a thought and about to leave, the one who entered the shop just now calls out my name. Who is it? Ah! Who is it?
どうでもいい話だけどさ竹のことを英語でバンブーって言うだろ
Who the fuck are you and what kind of mess are you wearing? Huh? Yeah.
あれってさすごいかっこいい赤ちゃんの泣き声みたいじゃね
Holy crap, that really was random. Don't you have anything better to say to a friend that you haven't seen in forever?
でもかっこいいと思わないか
I try to imagine a baby crying that way. That's freaking cool, yeah. No doubt the baby would be wearing sunglasses to make himself look cooler. You both are fucking stupid.
だろ
So, what brought you to the shop, Mina Mikawa? Who the fuck is this? A boy who used to go to the same school as you and Chiharu. He had to leave school for personal reasons, but since there was no trouble at school, he still keeps good relationships with his old classmates. Because of his cheerful, entertaining personality, people often mistake him for a frivolous person, although he's a man of strong sense of loyalty and integrity.
そりゃ雑貨に顔を出すからにはショッピングだよただしウィンドウな感じでな
Window.
天川こそどうしたんだインテリアとか無縁そうなキャラなくせして
Yeah, no, I'm working. Wait a minute, am I being kinda insulted?
実際買い物目的じゃないだろ俺が店に入った時店員と話してたし
He and I are friends who have known each other for years, and he more or less knows about my job. I don't need to tell him more than necessary, but I don't need to lie either. The shop was a crime scene, and I'm part of the investigation.
マジで
Yeah.
事件ってどんな
I think the staff will tell you if you ask, but it was a robbery where the shop owner got injured.
結構ショックだわ多少顔出してるくらいでも店長とは何回か話したこともあるし
Oh, really?
あの店に月に 1,2 回顔を出
Once
して
or twice a month? That's surprisingly often. What for?
趣味で探してるアンティークがあって市内の骨董品を扱ってる店を普段から巡ってるんだよ
To me, that doesn't sound like something that a lot of people would do for fun.
自分でもそう思う
So, that is one of the shops you frequent?
ってほどじゃないけどなそれ以上の頻度で顔出す店が県内だけでも
うん
10軒以上あるし
You're really serious about it, huh? Although he explains it like it's no big deal at all, I don't think that's something you can do just on a whim. It seems that he's been going all out to find what he wants.
探してるのはアクセサリーだから家具が主体のあの店に足を
okay, yeah, that makes
は
sense.
低くなるんさ
You said you went there once or twice a month. Apart from today, have you been there in the last month?
そうさ最後に来たのは2週間前くらいだ
Okay, then let me ask you one thing. Did you see any dolls in there?
人形にゃ思い出せる限りではそういうのはないのあの店はちょっとした小物のコーナー以外は家具が主体だし
Right, that was my impression too when I took a look around inside.
どれくらいの大きさの人形な
It's a Japanese doll size of a third grader or so.
はあ日本人形洋風のあの店に
Yeah,
しかもそんなでかいの
it's something that would really stick out. Yeah.
ありえないっしょ小学校中学年の身長もよくわからんけど余裕で1メートル以上はあるだろう
Yeah, I heard it's like 1.3 meters.
Why not say that in the first place then, by the way?
店の色と違いすぎるし、そのサイズなら目立つから、もしも置いてたのなら別の目的で顔を出してる俺でも覚えてるって。
Even an occasional visitor like him doesn't seem to have seen the doll in the shop, which means that it had definitely been in the backyard. But if that's the case, that makes sense. That's why Azuma...
どうかしたのか?
Nothing. Well, so at least you didn't see it at all.
ない。断言してもいいってか、それを店員に聞いてたんだろ。
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm with someone not involved.
あの店で事件が起きたわけだもんな。
If the clerk I spoke to is part of the incident, her words could be intentionally misleading.
しかし天川や、以前もこんなことがあったけど、こういう内容って他人に話しちゃダメなんじゃないのか?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not with the police and I've got no obligation to classify anything. The disobeyers are not obligated to hide who they really are at all. However, even if I were to confess that I'm one of them, no one would believe me. It's too absurd. But then again, I don't plan to elaborate and drag my friend into a harsh world either. I'm not a spy! I'm not a spy!
そこは正体隠すのかよ。わからんぜ、最近のスパイ。
I said I'm not a spy.
でもさ、お前が言ってたじゃん。形ないものを扱う仕事だって。
Did I say that?
中学の時に僕は形のないものを相手にしてるんだ。キリ。とか、そんな話してたじゃん。
Alright.
ドヤ顔で。
I don't think I had a smug face. Well, I didn't, did I? Okay, I'll be careful not to do that face again. Well, anyway, what part of that story made you think I'm a spy?
形がないものって言ったら情報だろ。 他に何があるんだ?
There's lots of them, like human emotions, say hope or love.
へそで茶が湧いちゃうぜ。出たよ、ロマンチスト天川。略してロマ川。お前は好きあらば名言を言ってやろうってところがあるよな。
No! Seriously? The relation struck my mind rather sharply, reminding me of the time when my little siblings asked me if I worked at the host club, which was like 2 days ago.
この店に置いてあったってことは、お前が言う人形はアンティークなのか?
I don't know much, but it's a pretty old work apparently.
そっか。ならさ、俺の方でもそれ系の店に出入りするときに気をつけて見ておくようにするか。ここを辞めてからは、全く天川には借りを返せてないし。
You still think you owe me for that?
事実だし、これくらいは利子分にもならないって。
Just to make sure, how serious are you?
かなりガチめで。
You could get hurt.
全治1ヶ月くらいまでなら全然 OK.
Alright then, I'm counting on you. As one of the disobeyers who live out their life with their feelings placed ahead of everything else, how can I brush aside other people's feelings? There's one thing I need you to keep in mind.
何?
If you find a suspicious doll, don't try to contact the staff directly. Just let me know immediately, okay?
その人形にやばい何かがあるってことか?
A little.
機密データの入ったマイクロチップと見た。
Like I told you, I'm not a spy. Even after all these years, this friend of mine is still as happy-go-lucky as he was before. I mean, that's good to know, though. Do we get another reasoning? I got a bunch of, What the fuck is happening here? The two little children are whispering to each other in front of Yu's room. Everything started when Shizuku came up to his room to let him know dinner was ready. Now, noticing her brother's strange behavior, she got worried and brought Jun for assistance. Mindful of his body, he always maintains good posture even while reading or watching DVDs, but now he's rolling around on the tatami while staring at his phone. What makes the scene more disturbing is that he's grinning like an idiot.
ないの。じゃあ画面になんか面白いものが映ってるとか？
On the cover, you is a young man who rarely expresses his emotions. He doesn't get angry, burst into laughter, or rejoice outwardly. But look at him now. Anyone can tell that he's overjoyed about something.
ニヤニヤしてるよな。もしかしてお仕事で異業に何かされたのかな？雫は何か感じるか？嫌な感じは全然しないけど。
The positive atmosphere radiating from him puzzles the two of them even more. They know the brother is currently working on a new case. It would be understandable if he were overcome with a terrific sense of urgency, but what in the world is with the sluggish, laid-back air surrounding him? The two kids are trying to wrap their heads around it.
一応見てみるか。お兄ちゃんに怒られるよ。だよな。
But the two kids aren't grown up enough to leave their brother's unusual state alone. Even though they sometimes act and talk maturely for grade schoolers, it largely stems from the environment they grew up in and their talents. They have been through a lot more than other children of their age, but in the end they're still children too. They lack experience, especially when it comes to romance or the subtleties of man and woman. They occasionally astonish grown-ups around them, especially the brother, by making sophisticated remarks, but they're just imitating those grown-ups so far.
お母さんに聞いてみる？
Completely forgetting to inform him of dinner, the two of them hurry down to the kitchen in the main house. They're purely worried about him and very curious about what caused the drastic change in his behavior. The action ends up creating a situation where Yu's mother gives her son understanding and loving looks throughout the dinner, and Yu, with his cheeks drawn into a stupid grin, doesn't even notice. What the fuck is happening? He was that happy about her reply or something? At least they're both being stupid. After taking a bath, I decided to look back on today's events. Not that I picked up a lot of new stuff, but my day wasn't entirely fruitless. I heard something worth noting from the knick-knack shop clerk, and it's a big help that Azuma is now working with us. I need to sort those things out to get the most out of them. Yeah, see, I was right. We're getting into the reasoning mode. Nice. That's good. A reasoning mode to close off the stream tonight. At least for how long are people thought to have gone missing around the doll? Over 20 years. What is it that Azuma is concerned about with the doll? The location, right? No. Wait, what is it that Azuma... No, wait, I'm sorry, of course. Azuma is the cop, so he's concerned about how they disappear, not where she was. Which remark of the shop owner cannot be ignored, the doll being neglected? Surprised by the doll, sold the doll. Which remark of the shop manager cannot be ignored? Well, he was surprised to find the doll, so the surprise here. Yeah. Nice! There we go. This is what we like. The culprit is still shrouded in mystery. Did the doll cause everything in the case? Or is a human behind it all? In any case, I have to keep at this, using the clues at hand to step toward the truth. Because in this world, just a single step can determine your fate. Wow. Ooh. Okay. Good for you. Answering scenario number 2, The Strange Story. Oh, Maggie chat. Maggie Explorer version 1.56. Chat is currently in secret mode. So is it what I think it is? Yeah, no mistake. At midnight, the sound of keyboard typing echoes in the shop. This is the biggest difference between Nanashi and the previous owner of the shop. He uses these gadgets for accounting and information gathering, while the previous owner was dead set against them. He's currently engaged in an online chat at the suggestion of his conversation partner, who had been afraid of facing his wife's wrath if he were to wake her. What a surprising discovery. I feel like there's something of an incongruity to it though. The conversation partner firing off emoticons is a 59-year-old man. He's a professor working at an arts college in Kyoto and has known Nanashi though since the owner 2 generations back. He's known as the leading authority on the history of dolls created between the Meiji era and the present day. Last night, when Nanashi saw the picture of the doll, he already had an idea of who could have created it. He decided to contact the expert to check if he was right. To me, the whole face looks really similar to his style. As you're presuming, the distinguishing expression proves it's one of Miyama's works. I knew it. What about the other parts? I'm not sure unless I study what it's like under the clothes, but I feel that body size isn't right. So far, the professor's opinions match Nanashi's.
If it's his work, he undoubtedly channeled all his energies into maintaining the equilibrium of the doll. Which means someone retouched her. I'd say it's pure madness to recreate a doll with parts of Miyama's work of all things. Works of art can be remade or recreated with use of the original parts, but dolls are practically an exception. Without substantial experience, it would be extremely challenging to take a human-shaped doll apart and use its parts for another doll. But the doll has some mysterious charm to it, don't you think? I do. I can feel it even from the picture. The actual work must be impressive at first hand. Make sure to let me know when you get her. I'll come see her whatever it takes. The old man in front of the other computer seems to be the same breed as the young man. However, as someone studying dolls, I can't accept everything about the doll, given that someone unnecessarily fixed her up. There are less than 10 of Miyama's works in Japan. Do you have any references that mention when a doll with that face was created, or how many dolls were created before or after her? Based on the design, I can guarantee the face is one from his later years. I also saw several works whose faces had extremely similar features to it before. Could one of them be what they used for this doll? I'll scan a picture of them and send them to you. You should see for yourself. Those dolls and this one look so alike in design, they could be the same doll. Is there any obvious difference? Size. The ones I saw were all shorter than 90 centimeters. 90 centimeters is tall enough for a doll. The professor must have used the word shorter compared to the size of the doll in question. That makes sense. If I were to revamp a doll, I'd probably use same-size dolls for parts. Exactly. Or maybe there was a reason for using that hat in particular. As far as I can think, maybe they loved the design of the face and wanted to use it no matter what. But if that was the case, wouldn't they have remade the body to match the face? Did you figure out something? It's like a devil has suddenly whispered in Nanashi's ear. The sudden burst of inspiration sends a shudder through his whole body. He's convinced he must be very close to the truth. Oh, alright. S-rank scenario complete. So it's only such small scenes, but they do give you something a little more. That is really cool. Achievement unlocked, the midnight chat. I see. That explains the amount of achievements you get for this game. Because I was like, why? Hold on, this game has... What? This game has 13 achievements. We're already at 7. We're already at 7 out of the 13 achievements. But it explains why there are more than there seem to be chapters. If you get one for every single S-rank thingy. That makes sense. That emote though. I think they're really cute though. It's a really cute emote.
Magical eyes. Red is for Anguish.
But that is going to be it for tonight.
Because it's a very good point. We're not in the middle of it, we just finished the reasoning. I really can't tell how long the game is going to be though. Like this is another 3 hours, so and it's like, yeah, okay, something is going on, but what it is, I have no clue. Well, it's good, it's good. I like where the game is going. Can't say what I think about Chiharu because it's a little too much. She's just, at least in the beginning, last time when she was out on her own with her going to the cinema, at least there was something else about her. But all of her appearances today were just, I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what he's done. I couldn't give him the DVD. I can only think of him. Like nothing else. But okay, I get it. Okay. Thank you for a nice stream. No, thank you for coming. I'm going to try and do a stream tomorrow once again for this game, so we can catch up on the stream we couldn't do this Wednesday, right? So we don't lose out on too much time. Other than that, it's going to be usual. The schedule is usual. So this game on Wednesday and Sunday, we're going to be doing more Atelier Eska and Logi on Friday, and for Saturday, I'm going to have to find something else. I'm going to post a schedule as soon as I figure out what game I want to play on Saturday. I don't really know yet. Maybe something that fits the horror-ish mood of making October a little more like that. Thank you for watching. Hope you're cleaning as well. Oh yeah. You also have a great night. I'll be cleaning the apartment now.
I'll send you guys over to you, who is still in breakfast just chatting, but you is going to be playing what's the game called? JJ Macfield. I think it's going to be about like the last stream of JJ Macfield or something. Because you was already really far along into that game. I think it's a mix of a visual novel and a platformer or something along those lines, which is why I will never be touching that game myself, despite being very interested in the story. But yeah, I'll send you guys over to you. Let me set that up real quick. Here is the right message. Once again, thank you guys so much for coming tonight. See you all very soon. Let me put on the ending song. And good night. And bye bye. Bye bye bye.